Channel 5, Cable 6.
Programs normally presented at this time will not be seen or have been rescheduled so that we may present Game 4 of the quarterfinals between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens.
CBC Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Ford Motor Company on behalf of your Ford and Mercury dealers from coast to coast. The Bank of Nova Scotia with nearly 1,000 branches across Canada to serve you. Canadian General Electric, progress for people since 1882. And by Molson, Canada's name in beer since 1786. Brewers of Molson Golden. To fill us in on whatever details he might have at his disposal concerning Palmateer.
Well, Dave, I can't give you any technical terms. Our doctors will do that after the game, but Palmateer had a blow on his forearm that was suffered during the game. Sometime we feel by the skates, as you mentioned, of Mark Napier. And he went home last night. He mentioned that his arm was sore. This morning he called to tell us that his arm had swollen badly and that he was really suffering a lot of pain. The doctors examined him. At first they told me that he wouldn't be able to play tonight. He was out of the lineup. And then a little while later, Dr. Hastings called and said that he just couldn't leave it any longer, that the muscle was going to explode, was the terms that he used, and that he had to cut the muscle to relieve the pressure, and he did this. And Palmateer, unfortunately for us, is out of the lineup and will miss the remainder of this series and probably not be able to play for quite a while.
So Mike Palmateer played much of last night's game with a rather serious injury to his left arm. And tonight, Paul Harrison will play in goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Tonight on Hockey Night in Canada's broadcast team, we're all back after last night's marathon. Bill Hewitt, Brian McFarland, Howie Meeker, Gary Dornhofer, and we have Bob Goldham along with his special comments in an intermission. And right now, Gary and Howie, take it away.
Well, tonight the Toronto Maple Leafs are up against the wall. They're one game away from elimination and a tough situation they find themselves in, Howie.
Well, I think if they're going to start winning some games in this series, Paul Harrison is going to have to duplicate his performance in Montreal when the Canadiens beat him 2-1, but he was just sensational. That was the night of the Nielsen affair. Toronto Maple Leafs have to get the first goal and then to go back to some simple, basic checking fundamentals that when you do get a Montreal Canadien off the puck, you don't go fishing for the puck. You just run into the man nice and easy and gently and make sure that he doesn't get it back. The fact that they turned their backs and went fishing for the puck last night cost them 2 goals, and you can't afford to give that club 2 goals.
Howie, last night, the Maple Leafs tried to play an aggressive style to slow the Canadiens down. It didn't seem to work.
Well, no, and I only thought they played that type of game early in the contest, Gary. After that, I think they skated with them, but it's fruitless, really, to try to intimidate the Montreal Canadiens. They're big and they're strong. They're big and strong men, though, are better hockey players than the Leaf toughies, so I don't think you're going to have to skate with them.
All right, we'll be watching tonight. Our playoff will continue with the opening face-off in just one moment.
Quaker State Motor Oil helps cars last.
Quaker State gives my truck real protection on the hottest days, and it helps it start on the coldest mornings, too.
Quaker State, that's the protection I want for stop-and-go city driving.
I've been driving this car for over 5 years. Use nothing but Quaker State in it.
Quaker State Motor Oil helps cars last.
Maybe that's why it's the best-selling motor oil in North America.
And a 1 in 3 chance you will win something.
Lotto Canada.
More than 1 in 3 you'll make good. Better than 1 in 3 you'll grin. Better than 1 in 3 you'll win that Lotto Canada game. It sure looks good.
New $100,000 prizes. New $10,000 prizes. Lotto Canada is adding 21,000 special bonus prizes to the 4 $1 million prizes in the May 6th mid-draw.
That Lotto Canada game, it sure looks good.
So here we are again, ready for more action between the Leafs and Montreal. The Canadiens undefeated in their last 7 playoff games. At 5:25 into the second overtime early this morning, Montreal served the Leafs a little CC on ice. Cam Connor and his slippery hockey puck, and that ended it, Gary Dornhofer. And there were other players that really helped out last night. For instance, Bob Gainey had a tremendously strong game for Montreal.
Brian, Bob Gainey has to be one of the strongest skaters in the National Hockey League, and if there's some guy that's hot on the opposition, he's the man to put on him. Great defensive forward.
You know, I was impressed, too, with Serge Savard. Now, here was one of the early winners of the Conn Smythe Trophy way back in '69. That was 10 years ago, and he seems to get better every year.
Well, Savard has been around a long time. He certainly knows what to do with that puck and is the leader of that star-studded defensive corps.
How about the Leafs holding him off the score sheet last night? Lafleur with 4 points in the first and second games for 8-point total. Held scoreless last night, but dangerous every second. Time now for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Look at our officials for this 4th game. Bob Myers is the referee. The linesmen are Matt Pavlich and Randy Mitten. In the nets, Ken Dryden for the Montreal Canadiens. And making his appearance out here tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs is Paul Harrison. Harrison playing in the nets. And Cyril Sittler has gone to center ice with and they do this quite often. They're using 4 defensemen. Williams, Turnbull, Quenville. And there's Scotty Bowman as we get set to face off. Risebrough at center for the Canadiens. It goes back to Serge Savard over to Larry Robinson, and Robinson gets it up at center ice. Chartrand knocked it over the line. The Leafs get it back out. Sittler is checked. Goes back from Bob Gainey over Robinson. Back to Savard. Savard's pass. And Bob Gainey hits Risebrough, and it was over onto this right side, and Williams takes it back down again. Shoots it in. Hutchison is up there on the forward line as the Canadiens clear it out to center ice. Quenville lost possession of it, and the Canadiens get the puck into Leaf territory. Play is called, and there's going to be penalties. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Stanley Cup 79.
Very strange. Why people kick the new advantage radio? It would be simpler now to talk to a BF Goodrich dealer about the advantage radio. Shouldn't that be radio? That's what I said. Radio. The BF Goodrich Advantage Radio.
36 well, that didn't take long, Gary. 36 seconds into the game. Chartrand and Hutchison go.
Well, they had a little with the sticks. You notice Hutchison gave one, and Chartrand right back again. And Bob Myers, he isn't going to fool around. He'll send them both to the penalty box. Keep control of the game right off the start.
Teams playing 5 aside as Gila point shot. Harrison knocked it into the corner. Boria Salming shoots it around on the boards. Lafleur is out there with Lemaire for the Montreal Canadiens, along with Brian Engblom and Guy Lapointe. Up for Boria Salming to center ice over the red line. Shot the puck in wide of the net. Rebound to Engblom. Engblom covered. Lanny McDonald handed it to Lapointe. And Guy Lapointe starts out. Perfect pass to Lemaire. Lemaire's shot is going high up into the crowd.
Well, before the game, we talked to Roger Nielsen. He told us about his goaltending problems and showed a lot of faith in Harrison.
Well, fortunately, Paul's come up with some very good games this year against Montreal. We were down there and lost 2-1 our last game of the season. He was outstanding, and he moved in the second game in Montreal and played really well there. So we feel really confident going with Paul Harrison in the nets.
And he's starting his first playoff game, although he played a few minutes in Montreal in Game 2.
Boria Salming back of the net. Salming being watched by Lafleur. Now he starts heading up to his blue line. He gets to center ice, had to go back. Lafleur watching him. Salming finally flipped it over onto the left wing. Robinson to Lafleur. And Guy Lafleur turns. Gets it back to Serge Savard for Larry Robinson to Lafleur, and Lafleur turns again to Savard. Up it comes to Robinson. Robinson to Lafleur. He's over the line. Trying to get it through. He does. Lemaire shoots. Harrison stopped that and holds it out.
Gary, for late tuners in, I think we should repeat that Mike Palmatier underwent surgery today. They operated on his forearm, cutting a slit in the envelope, is the way they describe it, of the muscle in Palmatier's arm. So that came as quite a shock to get that news today.
Certainly did, and what a load on Paul Harrison's shoulders. You know, it's altogether different in the playoffs than it is in the regular season, and he making his first start this year in the playoff situation. I'm sure that he feels the pressure and is very nervous right at this situation, but he'll get over that and get right into the game.
Here Mondu out there on the forward line with Yvon Lambert. Quenville stopped partially by Mondu. Gets up to Anderson. Anderson coming to center ice. Takes his shot. Dryden had to stop that. Up to Lambert. Lambert stopped by Anderson, who shot it to an open wing. Gardner going up to do some forechecking. And Mondu missed Anderson and sends Ryler Robinson up at center ice. Over the line for Lambert. Back to Robinson. Back and stop. That one was just missed by Mondu. Anderson comes back with Turnbull. Turnbull couldn't get over the line. Now he passes to the open wing. Gardner sends in John Anderson. The Turnbull, his backhand is wide. Anderson didn't see Turnbull. Larry Robinson ahead to Rick Chartrand. Chartrand out of the play. Lambert and Mondu. And Mondu leaves the ice as the Canadiens clear it back into Leaf territory. Now it's Turnbull. Turnbull. His pass at center, Risebrough got a piece of, and it's shot back in behind the net, but it's offside. Tonight's Stanley Cup game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
If you go for the smooth taste of a Golden, never take it for granted, or someone else may take it for good.
And there you see 17:01 to play in the first period. There's no score in the game as it's brought up by Engblom. Engblom bumped by Lanny McDonald, but in after the foul. Puck went to Pat Hughes, and he couldn't get it out in front. Turnbull now a pass to Williams. Williams shot the puck in. The race for it. Sittler and Engblom, and it's the call for icing. Williams. Mix-up.
Williams still punching with that right. Now Randy Mitten moves in with Matt Pavlich. Talking to one of the officials about Williams and the way he fights, Gary, and he said once the fight is over, Williams takes a very sensible attitude. He moves out. He doesn't try to carry on and move around and try to scrap again, although I've seen him do that on occasion, but they say he takes a sensible approach is what they called it.
Well, you'll see them both. Williams comes in late and puts LaRouche into the, or Risebrough rather, into the boards, and then they start.
Gives us a chance, perhaps, to mention that the changes in that Montreal lineup, Mario Tremblay's still out, along with Rajan Uels. Jarvis is not playing, although he was able to play tonight and took the warm-up. Steve Shutt, the Charlie horse last night, is not suited up, and Mark Napier, also injured last night, is not playing. So they've called up Dan Newman. They have LaRouche out there. For the Leafs, Ron Wilson and Gary Monahan are not playing.
Well, you know, it's very interesting, Brian, that Montreal, they can lose 2 or 3 players and just replace them with players that do such a capable job, and that's the secret of their success.
Tiger Williams gets the additional 2-minute penalty, so he gets 4 minutes in all, and Risebrough gets 2 minutes for elbowing.
Teams. Harold Sittler picking up the new stick and coming back out on the ice.
See the blade on that stick, Gary? Sittler likes a big, fat, wide blade. No, that's not his. He used a lot of tape on his stick. That's McDonald. He uses no tape whatsoever.
There it is, Brian. As we look down for the face-off, puck goes to Harrison. He left it there for Salming. Salming up for Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald goes over the blue line, trying to cut in, and he couldn't get a shot away. Robinson takes him to the boards, and Lafleur has the puck. Teams are playing 5-a-side. E. Lafleur to Larry Robinson. At his own blue line, up at center ice. Gets over the Leaf line, trying to go around Salming. Robinson gets it into the corner. Dave Burrows is there, and Burrows hits Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald, being watched by Lemaire, goes to Salming, and Borja Salming. Up for Burrows. Burrows, a flip pass for Darryl Sittler. Sittler over the line with a pass, and Lemaire has it. Jacques Lemaire with Guy Lafleur. Lemaire slowly coming out. Passed it back to Savard, to Robinson. Robinson coming up to center ice. Goes over the line. Over to Lafleur. Lafleur then to Savard. Savard hit the shot, hit the goal post. Here's Savard, wrapped one off the post. Back up for Burrows. A pass ahead to Darryl Sittler. Over the line for Sittler, and he's checked by Larry Robinson. Robinson stops. Over for Savard. Savard turns, goes to Larry Robinson. And a pass ahead to Savard to Lafleur. Lafleur coming down the ice, gets around, takes a shot. And Harrison stopped that on the shoulder. Back up for Ron Ellis. That's center. Over the line. Ellis stops. Trying to get the puck loose. Canadians get it out over the blue line, and Jimmy Jones has it. Jimmy Jones, a pass for Turnbull. That's over his stick, but he pokes it, and Savard gets it over to Pierre Mondeau. The Leafs are short-handed now, and the Canadians are making a change. Williams in the penalty box as Bob Gainey gets over the line. It's knocked back out again. Over Pierre LaRouche, number 28, out there, and the Leafs break that up, and it goes down the ice. Back forward is Mondeau. LaRouche is out there. Guy Lapointe. Bob Gainey. Long pass for Gainey. Gainey straight up at center. Over the line. Stops. Leaves it for Mondeau. He overskates the puck, and it's driven down the ice. 1 minute and 14 seconds left in Williams' penalty as Guy Lapointe takes over for Montreal. A pass up on the left side. And cleared by Lambert into the corner. Picked up there by Caron, trying to center it. It comes back to the blue line to LaRouche. LaRouche over for Lapointe. Lapointe in to Connor. Connor had the puck knocked off his stick, and it's cleared down the ice. Up for the Canadians again. They have the man advantage. Over for Risebrough. Risebrough shoots, and he shot it high. And it went up into the crowd.
You know, Ron Harrison really came up with a good save on Lafleur. You know, anytime gets that puck and crosses that blue line, he's ready to shoot it. And here he unloads one. High shot. Catches it high on the block, or even may have caught him in the shoulder there, Brian.
Yeah, he shook that off as the play went down to the other end. And earlier, of course, Savard banked one off the goalpost behind him.
You know, usually when Lafleur shoots him, he's always looking for that outside post, just inside the post, low, just off the ice.
You know, Lafleur has an uncle in Thurso, Quebec, who's a staunch Maple Leaf fan, and when he brought the Stanley Cup back there, he kind of kidnapped it last spring and took it home to Thurso, put it on the front lawn. His uncle had his picture taken beside it, wearing his Maple Leaf sweater.
On the face-off, it comes back to Pierre LaRouche. Screen shot, and that's deflected wide. Lafleur left it for Lambert. Lambert right for the score! Went off the stick to Paul Harrison, I believe, into the net.
Right, jar, Bill. First score goes to Montreal. It trickled in off Harrison. Lambert tried to set up a teammate, and he scores himself. So it's 1-0 Montreal.
Well, power play goal, and Lambert just comes out from in the corner all by himself, and actually all he's trying to do is dump it out in front. Hits Harrison and just trickles into the net. He was looking for
Lemaire was right there. Never got the pass.
Lemaire, time 6:55.
I say it again.
Yvon Lambert from Pierre LaRouche and Jacques Lemaire, time 6:55.
Montreal's 5th power play goal of this series.
Yvon Lambert scoring at 6:55. Brings the Leafs back to full strength. Williams' penalty is eliminated, and Montreal leads by a score of 1-0. Here's Darryl Sittler now at center. A long shot into the corner. Out of the net is Dryden. He shot it around on the boards. Lambert left it there, and it's knocked out to center ice. Picked off by Dave Burrows to Pat Boutet, who was checked by Lemaire. And now Borja Salming back in his own zone. Shoots it off the boards out to center ice. Now the Canadians really flying, come in over the line, gaining a hard drive. And Harrison stopped that. Back for Salming, up at center. A pass to Sittler over the line. Trying to make a play to Salming, he did, and he shot it high. And over the glass.
Engblom and Salming glaring at each other now, and we're going to have additional penalties. I think they're both going to go.
This is Stanley Cup 79 for Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Providing their share of the family income makes a lot of sense to a lot of women these days. And so does buying life insurance. Think about your future and talk it over with a Mutual Life of Canada agent.
Salming, 2 minutes slashing. Time 7:35.
And there we have the time to play, 12:25.
Let's take a look at the replay here, Gary. Slashing on Salming right there and hooking against Engblom. Well, again, Bob Meyer's doing the right thing. You know, you don't want to get this game to get out of hand. Get him to play hockey, just send him off the ice.
Goes back to Quenneville. Quenneville shoots the puck in. The team's playing five-a-side. It goes to Larry Robinson, up to Bob Gainey on the left wing. Gainey coming through center. Comes to the leaf line. It's around Turnbull and stops. Giving it over to Lemaire. Shot right to score! Right on Larry Robinson's stick.
Timed that beautifully. Lemaire to Robinson. What a pass from Lemaire. And again, the Montreal Canadiens come off the bench. They lead it 2-0.
You know, the great thing about this play is Gainey's ability, once he crosses the blue line, to hang on that puck. He doesn't cough it up. He just hangs on to it. And then Lemaire, what a pass to Robinson, cruising in, hitting that open man, and he just deflected it by Paul Harrison.
You might fault Harrison a bit on that first goal, but not on this one. Right in front, there's not much you can do about that.
You know, the Leafs have to always be aware of Montreal defensemen pinching in there and moving in towards the net, because they do it all the time.
The puck out over the Leaf blue line, and it's picked up there by Walt McKechnie. McKechnie over to Turnbull. Turnbull going up through center with Walt McKechnie. Turnbull trying to center it. He did. McKechnie at the side of the net. Cleared by Savard to the blue line. Quenneville kept it in, but it's Robinson. And he nearly sent Pierre Mondeau flying down in the clear. Paul Harrison off the boards to Ian Turnbull. Turnbull coming up to center. Over the line with McKechnie, and it's cleared out by Serge Savard to center ice. Leafs come back. Turnbull over the line. Stopped by Savard. And Savard goes to Robinson, to Pierre Mondeau. Mondeau, his pass hits McKechnie's skate, goes right back into Montreal territory. Canadiens leading by a score of 2-0. Lafleur in the corner. Now Lafleur coming out. Coming up the center with Risebrough, who turns around and goes back. Then he hits Guy Lapointe, and Lapointe just flips the puck in. Fleur leaves the ice. Risebrough remains out there with Lambert, who slams into Ellis. Now then, number 24, Gilles Lupien, and Guy Lapointe are the defensemen. Goes over to Lambert, back to Lupien. Lupien's pass for Risebrough nowhere near him. Cleared in by Burroughs, and Dryden gloved it, even though it wasn't on the net. Lupien, pass to Lambert. Up it comes to Risebrough. Over on this to Engblom, and Borja Salming picks that up, and he comes back over the line, trying to go around the defense. Poke check by Lupien. Canadiens nearly got it loose. Now they have it again. Lambert. A pass to Lemaire. Lemaire over the line with Chartrand. Came in front of the net, and Borja Salming's back to get it. 9:57 remaining in the first period. Montreal has a 2-0 lead. And that goes down the ice and will be brought back for icing.
You know, Montreal is so tough when they have that lead, because all they're doing is throwing that puck around, and then Toronto, they're just chasing.
What's the score? Montreal 2, Toronto nothing. This is Stanley Cup 79.
In celebration of Ford of Canada's 75th anniversary, your Ford and Mercury dealers present Beautiful Value Days. We're celebrating with the luxurious Diamond Jubilee cars, Ford LTD, and Mercury Marquis. And there's more during Beautiful Value Days. 50 50% off beautiful styling option packages on Ford, Futura, Granada, Fairmont, Mercury, Zephyr, Monarch, and Z7. Beautiful values today. Details at Ford and Mercury dealers.
There's the time, 10 minutes, 11 seconds of elapsed. Montreal leading 2-0. Paul Gardner out there now at center with Rocky Saginac. The puck came back, a shot, that's wide of the net. Teams at full strength, of course. Boria Salming gets it up for Williams. Williams, a long pass for Rocky Saginac. Saginac trying to go over the line, is broken up. Brought back by Pierre LaRouche. And gave him a good body check. Back and down the ice for Rocky Saginac. He centered it right across the goal mouth. There's nobody there. Canadians come back. Down the ice for Pat Hughes. He's over the line. Pat Hughes trying to get around Salming. Trying to put it out in front. Gardner to Saginac. And it goes right to Guy Lapointe. Over it goes to Engblom. Engblom watched by Gardner. Gardner ran into him. Williams takes the shot. That was stopped by Dryden. And it's Guy Lafleur over for Bob Gainey, who missed the body check. Saginac for Gardner. Gardner. Over it goes to Burroughs. He just shoots the puck in, and Gainey goes after it. Bob Gainey gets a pass ahead. Here they come. The Canadians at center with Lemaire. A long shot off the board. Lafleur went after it. Got it to Gainey. Right in front of Lemaire. And his shot hit a skate and deflected wide. Now here's Lafleur with it again. Guy Lafleur. His pass. Gainey couldn't get it. Lafleur's got it again. Over the line offside.
Lemaire had a little trouble getting out in time, but again, great power by the Montreal Canadiens. They've outshot Toronto 6-2. The Canadians have won 6 out of 10 faceoffs.
Brian, the Canadians are very seldom anywhere are they shooting the puck in the Toronto zone. What they're doing now, they just keep passing it around, carrying it in, and making the good play. So when they're in trouble, they're not letting Toronto control it. Toronto, they're chasing. That's all they're doing the whole night now, is chasing the puck.
Puck goes to Ian Turnbull. Turnbull back of the net. Now starts up for the Maple Leafs. The pass at center. Gets intercepted by Lemaire. Just shoots it right back in again. Back is Quenville. Quenville covered by Lafleur, but Lanny McDonald gets it out. Lemaire is right there. Shot it right to Lanny McDonald. Oh, and Lanny McDonald got the puck over the glass. And we'll have a face-off.
There's Lanny McDonald, 43 goals in the regular season, scored his 20th playoff goal like that last night. You're right about the chasing part, Gary, and also the Leafs have not come out hitting tonight. Boria Salming leveled one Montreal Canadian, LaRouche, I believe it was, with the best body check, and they're coughing up the puck a little too much to the Canadians.
Well, Brian, it has to be awfully difficult to go at the pace that the players were at last night. You know, I don't think they have very much left.
Brevard Robinson ahead to Doug Risebrough. He gets it over for Chartrand, and Anderson gets it for the Leafs. Anderson back of the net. Comes out on the right wing, stopped by Bob Gainey, who seems to be all over the ice, and it goes back of the Leaf goal again. Risebrough up there. Now it's Turnbull trying his luck. Long pass, and there's Gainey again. Bob Gainey then losing to Lanny McDonald, who finally gets the puck into Montreal territory. There's Savard for Larry Robinson. Around to Bob Gainey. Risebrough is in the clear. If he can hit him, then he missed. Goes all the way to Harrison. Gets up slowly. Back for Turnbull. Takes his shot. And Dryden had difficulty with that. Alan Lambert. It comes loose. Shot it wide. Lanny McDonald blasted one wide. Canadians shoot it down the ice. And that'll be icing. He just missed by an inch.
But you know what? You think goalies don't like to throw a check once in a while? Just watch this check by Harrison behind the net on Risebrough. Just gets rid of the puck and then hello.
Uh-oh. That stings.
This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Nice of you to have me aboard your private plane, JP.
Not at all. For my very special business associates, it's first class all the way. Miss Hopkins?
Yes, sir. May I offer you some caviar, some cold pheasant with truffles, perhaps?
No, just the golden.
Golden?
Molson Golden, the good, smooth one.
Oh, well, we don't seem to have any golden aboard.
No, golden.
Well, we do have some nice imported. Bill?
Some people will jump at the chance to go for a golden.
Miss Hopkins!
Actually, a lot of people.
And then we're set for the face-off as McKechnie loses the draw to and Englund clears it around on the boards. Shot down the ice again by Montreal. That was off the stick of Pat Hughes, number 30, and they'll bring it all the way back into Montreal territory, right?
Bill, our director, Ron Harrison, did a great job. We took him by surprise last night, or tried to. I'm looking for a guy in a fancy hat in the crowd. Now, men don't wear hats too often these days, but we don't want Punch Imlach. No, we've had him too often. We'll give you a moment or two to catch a guy in a peculiar hat. There he is right there. Look at that. That's quick work. What was the time there, Gary? 2.5 seconds? No more than that.
There's a better hat. The puck comes out over the blue line up at center ice. Goes over for Maloney. And he's just shot it back into Montreal territory. Now it's around on the board. Comes up to center ice, goes by Burrow. That's over the red line again. It's waved off by linesman Matt Pavlich. 6:04 to go in the first period. Goes back to Burrows. Burrows over to Salming. Salming at center ice. Now it's cleared over here on the right side, and Pat Hughes just shot the puck in. Salming will try to bring it out. He's covered by Lambert. The puck comes out. Guy Lapointe is checked by Salming. Englund then recovers for Montreal. Gets it ahead to Lafleur. Lafleur coming down the ice. Takes the shot off the post. Lafleur wrapped that one off the post. Puck is shot back in again as Montreal change on the go, and so are the Leafs. The Canadiens are really flying in this first period. Lafleur ahead to LaRouche. Over the line. Dropped it back. Here's the chance. And Cam Connor gets it back to the blue line. There's Savard. Back to Connor. Back to Lafleur. Lafleur back to Savard. Savard took a shot. Oh, that bounced off the post on a deflection. Lafleur after it. Hutchison trying to get it out. He does to center ice. Lafleur is right back there to get it again. What a bit of back-checking that is. And they give Guy Lafleur a real good hand for a great effort. Pat Boutet for Jones. Intercepted by Savard. Savard gets it back to Larry Robinson. Larry Robinson going to center. Gets it over the line. Larry Robinson centered it out in front. Here's back to Savard. Savard still has it. Savard coming out. Now he goes to the side. Back it comes to Geeney. Geeney's shot deflected. Harry Butler's got it. Coming up the ice. Over to Pat Boutet. Over the line to Jerry Butler, and he shot it wide. Pat Boutet for Jerry Butler. And he's hooked. Canadians bring it back out, but they'll have a penalty. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
In the late 1950s, banks weren't in the business of promoting small personal loans. Then one bank made it their business. The bank was Scotiabank, and they're still giving credit where credit is due. If you could use a little help with your dream, whatever your dream, see Scotiabank. They've got everything you need.
So at the 16-minute mark, the Leafs have a chance now with the man advantage to get back into the hockey game. They trail by 2, and there have been 3 goalposts hit behind Harrison. There's the hook on Butler that sent Chartres off.
Brian, Toronto, they have to get something going, and one good way is getting a goal, get some enthusiasm going here for them.
It goes back to Turnbull from the faceoff. Over onto the right side to Lanny McDonald. He drives it in. Dryden stopped it. Fell down, and Guy Lapointe just shoots it down the ice. Harrison leads the puck there for Borja Salming. Set there with Turnbull, Sittler, Gardner, and McDonald. Borja Salming moving to his own blue line, gains momentum, goes to Sittler. Sittler shoots the puck in. LaPointe is back there again. Around it goes for Lambert. Lambert knocks it out. Savard shooting it over onto the left wing to Jacques Lemaire. And Lemaire dragging the puck. Shot it to an open wing, and Lanny McDonald turned. 1:15 left in the penalty. A long pass for Gardner. Paul Gardner goes to Salming. Salming then to Sittler. Sittler hit the referee, and the puck taken by Savard and shot around on the boards. Taken by Lemaire, and Lemaire hits Lambert, and Lambert has the puck. Over to Jacques Lemaire. Lemaire, back it goes to De La Pointe. Over to Larry Robinson. Up it comes to center. Taken by Lemaire offside, and the faceoff comes back inside the blue line.
Let's go downstairs now to Dave Hodge.
In our first intermission, I'll be talking to the hero of last night's game, Cam Connor of the Canadiens. We'll introduce you to the mother of the Leafs, Pat Boutette, and Howie Meeker will have highlights of a period dominated thus far by the Canadiens.
All right, look forward to hearing from Cam Connor, last night's hero.
Over the line for Burroughs. He drops it back for Maloney. Maloney shot it into the corner to Robinson. Its pass was stopped, but it came out in front, and it's cleared out by Bob Gainey. A race for the puck. After it is Risebrough. Risebrough taken out of the play by Quenville, and it's Dave Burroughs over to Walt McKechnie. 18 seconds left in the penalty to Quenville, and it's batted by Guy Lapointe out and down the ice. Walt McKechnie, a pass to Burroughs. Burroughs for Maloney, that went over his stick, and the Canadiens all over the Leafs, even though they're short-handed. Now they have Chartrand back out. Quenville, a long shot. That was deflected. Then Maloney's shot on goal, and Dryden holds it out.
You know, Dryden talked to me before the game, Gary. He talking about Palmateer, and he said aside from Palmateer's immense skills, he really represents the personality of the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have a lot of leaders. He's certainly one of them. Leafs didn't get a shot during that power play.
You know, it has to be very frustrating for the Leafs. You know, even when they do get in the Montreal zone, they'll get one shot on net and then it's out. They just don't seem to be able to get a concentrated attack going, which is so very important.
McKechnie lost the draw. The puck cleared out to center ice. Guy Lafleur couldn't get it. It goes back to Larry Robinson. Larry Robinson back to the net. Now he starts out. A long pass up at center. Ends up at the Leaf defense, and Burroughs to Quenville. Back to Boutette. Pat Boutette shot one. Larry Robinson nearly directed it in his own net. The puck kept in by the Leafs and then knocked out again. Back up for Pierre Mondoux. Mondoux shot one. Look out, that's high. Into the crowd.
You know, another thing, Brian, is you just watch the Canadiens out there. As soon as their defensemen get the puck, the forwards are always making those little circles around the blue line. And when they accept the pass, they're in full speed, never standing still. And that's why they're able to beat a checker.
Well, we've got a minute 15 left to play in this first period. It's certainly been all Montreal's period.
Ian Turnbull, a pass for Pat Boutette. That stopped. Chartrand shoots it right back in again. Borja Salming kicks it with his skate. McKechnie, a long pass up on the right side for Rocky Saganuk, and it's back over the line. Cam Connor was hit by Borja Salming. Turnbull then bumped into McKechnie. Now a pass ahead to Walt McKechnie. Rocky Saganuk back to McKechnie, and he couldn't control it. Montreal with the puck bouncing over to Borja Salming. Salming is knocked down. And it's Guy Lafleur coming down the right side. McKechnie trying to stop him. He hauls him down, and there's going to be a penalty there to Walt McKechnie for hooking Guy Lafleur.
Well, you'll see Guy Lafleur putting on that burst of speed, and McKechnie's just tapping him to begin with, and then right at the dot there, he hauls him down.
LaFleur trying to ward him off with the right arm unsuccessfully, and finally I think he grabbed McKechnie's hockey stick.
For hooking. Time 19:32.
Well, you know, there's still plenty of time for the Leafs. You've got 2 periods plus a few seconds left, but it's important that they don't get another goal scored against them in this last 28 seconds.
Guy Lafleur has gone over to the Canadian bench to get a new stick. Now he's coming back. All set to go. Puck was dropped, but we had Yvan Lambert inside the rim of the circle. It's Lemaire, Lambert, and Guy Lafleur as the point took a shot. That was taken by the Leafs and cleared down the ice by number 17, Jerry Butler. Back for it is Serge Savard. Savard with 11 seconds. A pass to Guy Lapointe. Lapointe coming at center. A long shot. Harrison stopped that. 3 seconds left. Comes back to Lapointe, and before he could shoot, the bell goes to end the first period.
Dryden comes off for Montreal. Let's go downstairs to Dave Hodge.
Canadians minus 5 regular forwards take a 2-0 lead, and it could have been more. They hit 3 goal posts. Yvan Lambert scoring on a power play from LaRouche and Lemaire. And then Larry Robinson got his second of this series from Jacques Lemaire and Bob Gainey at 7:57. Montreal 2 and the Maple Leafs nothing. Our intermission will continue in just a moment.
You wouldn't be late all the time if you learned to get it together.
Okay, I'll go practice.
2 golden. Wilson golden? I just served the last one, I'm afraid. But we've still got plenty of,
Please,
Here, let me hold that for you.
Thank you. Honestly, I don't know what.
So, well, to make a long story short, the next day...
Tony, my friend thinks your eyes are green, but I think they're blue. Oh, we're both right.
Well, if you enjoy riding as much as I do, you really must come out this weekend, huh?
If you go for the smooth taste of a Molson Golden, you don't settle for something else. When it's golden, you go for it.
Welcome to our people-pleasing places.
You're confirmed in Montreal and Vancouver, and you're gonna love the ending.
Meet our people-pleasing places.
Holiday Inn hotels are #1 in the world, with the best locations near where you want to be.
I can walk.
The most popular choice of locations.
Wherever you go in this whole big traveling world.
We want to make you comfortable.
Holiday Inn is #1 people-pleasing.
The ultimate hero of last night's double overtime thriller was seldom used Montreal winger Cam Connor. And Cam, might I be correct in assuming that was your biggest thrill yet?
Dave, that was my biggest thrill. Right from junior right up through World Hockey to this year, that was the biggest.
You had plenty of reporters asking you the same question. How did you handle that after the game?
Well, I've seen Guy Lafleur do it a few times, and Guy's something else.
Yeah, you can learn a lot from him, maybe even the post-game interviews. Cam, there'll be people who watch that goal go in and think it was a fluke, but you're going to tell us otherwise as we watch the goal go in, and tell us just what went through your mind as we pick it up from the faceoff.
All right. I was to cut behind Doug Riseborough there for a shot, but Doug lost the draw. Ian Turnbull's carrying up the boards, and he just tries to get rid of it. Savard passes it up to Riseborough. We've got a 2-on-1. Got the puck on my backhand, and I was trying to pull it to my forehand, and it never quite got to my forehand. And there it is.
Well, why wasn't that a fluke? Because it looked as though it just slid off your stick and there wasn't much else you could do.
Fluke or luck, I'll take a dozen of them.
You could After you saw that the puck could not go on your forehand, was there a thought that you'd try to hit it, or did it go through your mind, look, leave it alone because he is coming out?
Right. I've watched Paul Matier enough that I know his style, and he likes to come out and challenge and cut down the angle, so I wanted to make Paul Matier move, and he had to open his legs, and it went through his legs.
Listen, it's a proud moment for you, and you deserve to cherish it, but I wonder whether there was a bit of ribbing from your teammates. I mean, the story is that a guy who doesn't get on the ice much and scores 1 goal all season gets the biggest goal of the year so far for Montreal.
We've got a very close team, and the guys won't let me forget this for a while. They say I made a hell of a move out there, but what was it, huh?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. Cam, from Flin Flon to the WHA, Phoenix and Houston, and now with the Montreal Canadiens, and as we said, you haven't really played much. How have you handled that?
Well, if I was the first guy in the Canadiens' history that didn't play a regular shift his first year, I'd feel pretty bad, but I know Steve Shutt and Reggie Houle told me it took him 3 years to crack the lineup. Even Guy Lafleur said his first 2 years were very, very tough there, and I don't feel very bad at all. I've learned an awful lot.
That sounds as though playing with those people can help you through this. You know, if you get down, they're going to bring you back.
Right. They've all been through it, and when I do get down and things aren't going my way, Larry Robinson, for instance, would come over and pat me on the back and get my head up, and if he didn't do it, Brian Ingram would come through, and we're a very, very close team, and I appreciate everything you've done for me.
Well, you did a lot for them last night with the big goal to win the game, number 3 in the series for the Canadiens, and as we say, cherish the moment. It's a deserving one, and it's one that not a lot of players get. Not many players play 2 overtimes, let alone score the winning goal in such a great game. Cam Connor, the Montreal Canadiens. Stanley Cup 79 continues in just a moment.
Now, from Braun into the domain of the rotary shaver comes the new Braun Micron. Look, this is the shaving area of the rotary head. The Braun Micron foil is 30% thinner for a closer, cleaner shave. The thinner the foil, the closer Braun shaves. Our design is to shave you closer than the rotary. The new Braun Micron.
We're saving $600.
We're saving.
This family has rented a Ryder truck
We're saving.
and moved 500 miles.
We're saving 600.
By packing and moving themselves, they saved a lot of money over what professional movers wanted. True, when you rent a Ryder truck, you have to do the work yourself.
We're saving 600.
But if you just keep repeating how much money you're saving, you'll be amazed how much lighter those cartons will seem.
We're saving $600.
You can tell by their style and flair. They're
Now.
You can tell by the way they're getting there.
Now.
The future is now.
With styling that says now. With high mileage ratings for now, to take you lots of places on a little gas.
The future is now.
I'm not waiting for someday. I'm doing it now.
79 Ford Futura. Even its price is now.
Lambert and Robinson scoring for the Canadiens, who try to wrap up this series in 4 straight. Many players on these teams have thousands of fans across the country. There may be many of those fans who can consider themselves number 1, but really the number 1 label applies in most cases to proud parents.
There's always a party at the Boutet household every Saturday night. That's when Hockey Night in Canada televises the Toronto Maple Leaf games, and Mr. and Mrs. Boutet and their friends gather around the television set to cheer on Pat Boutet of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mary and Ed Boutet and their friends here in Windsor have proudly followed Pat's career from the beginning. Pat's mother, Mary, has kept scrapbooks of her son over the years. His trophies fill the house. But like any hockey mother, Mary Boutet is delighted when her son scores a goal, but spends most of her time worrying.
Patrick, watch it! Oh, no! Oh, she almost scored. Pat, get the goal. Look at this chin. Look at this chin. Oh, I'm so nervous now. Throwing his weight around.
Father's the only one that's got me waiting to fail me.
There he goes again. Oh. But who can get it out but Pat? Really, I agree. And if he just get a decent pass from somebody, he can pass it right onto somebody's stick. Nobody passes it on. Nobody passes it to him. Either he's in a corner and he has to break his neck to try and get it.
Pat just missed one. Went off the pole. Went off the goalie's nose.
Oh, my goodness.
The Toronto Maple Leafs put aside 8 or 10 tickets for the Boutettes each time they play at the Detroit Olympia. Pat's boosters are out in full force then. The Olympia is just a 10-minute drive from downtown Windsor. Mary and her daughter Ann put in a few hours making up signs about Pat before this game. If she's not busy hanging signs, the proud mother hands out autographed pictures of her son. You'd be surprised how fast they disappear. As she watches the game, Mrs. Boutette worries about Dan Maloney and Daryl Sittler, too. 2 good friends of Pat's for years. The 3 of them played junior hockey together in London. At that time, she and her husband had traveled to London 3 times a week to watch Pat play.
I'm always so very apprehensive. Pat is very aggressive, and he loves hockey, and it doesn't bother him, but I just die.
You're afraid he's going to get into a fight.
As Pat has said, you just don't dare back down from anyone. Patrick is not 6'2" or 3" like Dan or Daryl, and Pat has always wanted to play with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he made it, and that was why, I believe. He loves what he's doing, and he always wanted to be there, and he's there.
What would happen if Pat ever got traded?
Well, they tell me it's inevitable, but I don't think they're going to get anybody that could play as well as Pat or that would be as dedicated to the Leafs as Patrick. I just hope that he can keep playing and doing his job. That's the main thing.
For hockey player Pat Boutette, the cliche fits. Behind every successful man, there's a woman. And behind Pat Boutette, there's his mother, Mary. This is Sarah Coyle for Hockey Night in Canada.
Thank you to Sarah Coyle for our profile on Mary Boutette, the mother of Patrick Boutette, if you please. And coming up next, with highlights of the first period, none other than Howard Meeker. We'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
Compare the all-new trim-size Ford LTD to this year's Chev Impala. You'll find Ford LTD has 6 inches more front seat hip room than Chev, more shoulder room too. Compare LTD's comfort with more back seat room for legs, knees, shoulders, and hips. Compare LTD's trunk, is 3 cubic feet bigger. Yet outside, Ford and Chev are virtually the same size. Trim size outside, full size inside. Test drive the '79 Ford LTD.
Want a fresh face in your life? Then Sherwin-Williams has a word of good advice for you. And that word is chem from Sherwin-Williams. Well, you can chem a ceiling, chem a wall, chem a kitchen, bathroom, hall, inside, outside, anywhere at all. So I just paint your home when you can chem it.
With Chem super quality paint from Sherwin-Williams.
How are sales in Toronto, Brian?
The essential thing about a meeting is you meet. What if you can't? One of the most ingenious ways of getting together is in not going anywhere at all. The conference call.
Same situation in Calgary, Frank?
Different people in different cities, all connected simply by one of you dialing 0 and asking for the conference operator who sets the whole thing up.
Dennis, would your boys in San Francisco agree?
If you have to have a meeting and can't go, call the conference operator and have it anyway.
Howie, for those who think there's a casual attitude on the Canadian squad tonight with a 3-0 lead in this series, not so, and there's a big reason for that. Without Jarvis, Oul, Tremblay, Shutt, and Napier, they're really intense and want to win this thing in 4 straight, so they get some rest and get some people back for the semifinals if, as seems likely, they're going to reach that round. And they're playing as though they want it in 4.
Well, Dave, it's a classic example of how you play offense. Sure, they have great skaters and great puck handlers, but offense is teamwork, and this is what they're doing here. It's been a Robinson, Lafleur, Lemaire period, and here we're going to show you just some, fantastic highlights of why the Montreal Canadiens are so good. Watch this. Great to Savard, and Lafleur heads for an opening. Savard gives it over to Robinson. Now Robinson back to Savard. Now, can we just unwind it? Back it up just a little bit, Topo. Watch what Robinson does to clear the hole. Okay, away you go. Now, Robinson knows that he wants to create an opening. Now, Lafleur works 2-on-1. He comes over to the Leaf player, McDonald, and there's Lemaire coming in. Look, for a great angle, a great shot. But the secret of creating good offense is continually to work one. All right, here they do it again, coming out of their own zone. Lafleur, Robinson with the puck. Just holds the Leaf defense together. Lafleur stops to keep from going offside, and he'll drop it. Now here they'll work 2-on-1 again. Watch this, right in the back to Savard. They work 2-on-1. McDonald leaves Savard all alone. Savard has all kinds of open ice, could have walked in, and he rang that one off the post, but could have got in closer. They create open ice so well, and here's the rush of the game. Bob Gainey, watch this guy boogie. Oh, watch the move here in Turnbull. The greatest anticipator in the game is Lemaire. Watch Lemaire. He knows where there's going to be open ice, where there's nobody between the passer and the pass receiver. Perfect pass. Now watch the top of your screen. Look at this guy boogie again. Oh, Robinson comes in right in front of the net. Harrison hasn't got a snowball's chance. Great offensive team.
2-0 Canadiens live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
In 1929, this Niagara generating station was the largest in the world. Generators built in Peterborough by Canadian Dominion Engineering, a CGE company, were part of it. Today's Grand Coulee project in Washington State uses turbines engineered by Dominion and the world's most powerful hydro generators built in Canada by CGE. Progress for people from Canadian General Electric.
If your engine isn't starting on cue, put in a fresh set of Champion spark plugs at least once a year. Champion in your engine can make beautiful music together. Get started with Champion.
Teams on the ice for the second period, and Montreal leading 2-0. And the summary of the first period: Lambert from LaRoche and Lemaire at 6:55. Robinson from Lemaire and Gainey at 7:57. Shots, Montreal 7 and Toronto 5. And there's Paul Harrison talking to Gloria Selming as the Leafs trail 2-0 and also have a man in the penalty box for the next minute and 32 seconds, Walt McKechnie. His penalty coming at 19:32 of the first period. All set to go. The puck goes back to Borja Salming. Salming shoots it right at Robinson, and Robinson has it for Montreal. Over to Lapointe to Lafleur. Lafleur up through center, over to Yvon Lambert. Lambert shoots it off the boards, hit the back of the net. Earls drives it down the ice. And Dryden leaves it for Robinson. Robinson, pass straight ahead to Lemaire. Jacques Lemaire coming up at center. Gets over the line. A pass to Lambert, and it's offside.
Minute or two left in the penalty time, and another game in this series, if necessary, will be played Tuesday, April 24th at Montreal.
Lemaire, Lafleur, Lambert, Robinson, and Guy Lapointe for the Montreal Canadiens. Puck taken by Boreas Salming, lost it to Lambert, who ran into the linesman, Jimmy Jones. The pass over for Jerry Butler. Butler stopped and flips it in behind the net, and it's given to Larry Robinson. Larry Robinson, long pass up for Lafleur. Lafleur over the line. Burroughs trying to control him, and does, and the puck is cleared out by Jerry Butler down the ice. Either point over for Larry Robinson. 27 seconds left in the penalty. Larry Robinson over the line to Lafleur, offside.
Gary, while we have a second, what happened now in that Leaf dressing room? You've been in there before. What would go on while they're trying to get themselves back together?
Well, Brian, I'm sure every player had their head down, and, you know, it's a terrible feeling when you're down 2-0 and the possibility of losing 4 straight games, and that stays with you the whole summer. So in that situation, it's up to your leaders, you know, guys like McDonald, Sittler, Salming, Williams. Get some enthusiasm in that dressing room and just remind everybody, guys, we're not going to quit. We're going to go fighting right down to the final whistle. If Montreal beats us, fine, but there's no way that we're going to, you know, quit on them, on ourselves. Let's keep working.
Puck is shot down into Leaf territory by the Canadiens, and Hutchison touches it. That's icing. And Hutchison threw an elbow and having a little chat with Pat Hughes.
You know, if I could take that one step further, gentlemen, those same leaders, you know, if they can add a little spark on that ice, you know, one end-to-end rush or a good hit or get involved or something like that, and then you'd be surprised what will happen with the enthusiasm on the bench. But right now, the Leafs, they need a goal so badly to get them going.
Walt McKechnie getting ready to come back out in 11 seconds. Now we're set for the face-off. A shot right on, and Dryden had to stop that. Now it's Bob Gainey getting it up the center. Now it's knocked back to the blue line, and it's Larry Robinson straight down the ice over the blue line. Larry Robinson's shot was blocked by Hutchison. Hutchison overskates it, gets it again, and Hutchison takes his time. Cleared it out to center. Williams deflected it. Here's a chance for the Canadiens. Rise Brown to Gainey. Gets it over the right side, and Harrison came out and stopped that one from Chartrand. Larry Robinson off the glass. Goes back to the Leaf defense. Hutchison over to Ian Turnbull. Ron Ellis is out there now. A long shot knocked down by Robinson. A pass for Risebrow. Then to Gainey. Gainey goes back to Robinson. Robinson over to Savard. He drills the puck into the corner. The puck comes along the side to Hutchison. Hutchison sends Sittler over to Williams. He just chapped it into the corner. And Larry Robinson is there and gets it around on the wing to Pat Hughes. Hughes coming up at center over the line. And he was checked, but the puck kept in by Cam Connor. The puck goes back to center ice. And Robinson for Savard. 2-0 is the score in favor of Montreal. Robinson then gets a puck to Mondu, gets into the clear. One ready, then goal shoot. And he shot it high over top of the net. Number 30. Pat Hughes had a great chance. He was in there. Now John Anderson back. Dryden stopped that. It batted into the corner. And we'll have a face-off. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Stanley Cup 79.
Why fight a dying moor? Toros are on sale. Toros are on sale. Toros are on sale. Haven't you done without a Toro long enough?
Well, early in this second period, Paul Harrison has come up with a couple of big saves.
Well, here, Mondu all alone there, and Harrison comes out, makes a good save, and then Anderson takes the puck the length of the ice, and if you're looking for a spark, that could be it.
And from the face-off, Salming shot the puck into the corner. Gardner trying to get at it, so is Anderson. Canadians get a hold of it, though, and shoot it out and down the ice. Dave Burrows back to get it. Number 26 back to the net. His back pass, and Salming had to recover. Over to Anderson. Anderson now with the puck. He dropped it back, and Burrows over to Salming, and right on to Engblom's stick, and he just flipped it right back at center. Now then, Lanny McDonald gets it to Anderson. Anderson trying to get to Gardner. A shot. Oh, and Don Anderson failed to put it in on the open side. Lanny McDonald went down, but Anderson's got the puck again. Anderson trying to work through, and it's broken up by the Canadiens. Coming up, a pass from Lemaire to Lafleur. Lafleur stops. His pass right in front of the net, and Salming drives it down the ice. Going back to get it is Guy Lapointe. Lapointe. Pass up to Lemaire. Lemaire's pass at center offside to Connor.
Gary, you're right about Anderson. He did provide a little spark there. And Guy Lapointe, who was a victim on a goal last night, certainly came up big and helped Dryden out.
Watch this play again. Anderson throws it right out in front. He's got the whole one side. Dryden just falls in. It looked like he just got his blocker on it, and then Anderson shoots it wide. But in a case like that, Brian, you know, a chance to score, and they just can't capitalize when they get a good opportunity.
2-0 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens. 15 minutes, 34 seconds remaining in the second period. Canadiens with Larry Robinson. A long pass up at center. And the Canadiens are sending their forwards up, trying to get behind the Leaf defense. Cleared along, knocked to the blue line, but not out. Dan Maloney tried to center it, and there's a pass off skate. Walt McKechnie's got it again, rolled it in front for Rocky Saginac, and it's cleared to the blue line, but not out. Quenneville's shot, and that hit Maloney. Savard over to Connor, who backs it out to center ice, and Connor goes over and gets a new stick. Instead, he's replaced, and it's Rocky Saginac. Hit a skate. Now it's McKechnie with Saginac over the line. Shot, look out, that's high.
That's 2 up in that area.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
As a boy, I loved to fish. Now I own a fleet. With every catch, the company used to get tangled up with paperwork. Then I heard of AES word processing systems. Our productivity doubled without any complaints. In fact, they thanked me. Store work on diskettes. Make revisions on the screen. Type perfect copies at 540 words per minute. The money AES saves me this year could help buy another boat.
And there the rival coaches, Roger Nielsen and Scotty Bowman. The Leaf bench, and now we have the linesman ready to drop the puck, Matt Pavlik. Comes back to Salming's shot. That hit Jimmy Jones on the back of the ankle. And that has him hurting a little bit. Guy Lapointe, then a pass up here for Risebrough. He's out there with Bob Gainey. Gainey after the puck. Salming went down here, tried to put the Risebrough, and Risebrough elected to try and get around Burrows, and he lost the puck. Pat Poutet, his pass, stopped by Gainey. Gainey is bumped by Butler, but Gainey's got the puck right out in front. Goes back to Guy Lapointe. Passed it out in front. Oh, and that shot was right off the post by Rick Chartrand. Gainey takes his man out, and the puck goes over the boards into the crowd.
Salming getting up very slowly. He played 10 minutes, 37 seconds of that first period. Quite a battle with Chartrand going on in the corner.
You know, when you talk about how a goalpost can be your best friend, here comes the 4th one for the Canadiens. Ed Harrison could have beat him there, but it was saved by the post.
And that's about the 4th, isn't it, Gary?
That's the 4th one, right?
13 minutes and 56 seconds as you see Paul Harrison there. And Salming apparently went into the boards. We have Jacques Lemaire with Von Lambert and Guy Lafleur. John Anderson Robinson, who's been very effective. There's puck coming out in front, though, and Harrison had to go down and cover up. Lemaire, Lafleur, and Lambert. Robinson and Savard. Doc Lemaire. Knocked the puck. Trimble picked it for Hutchison. Hutchison wasn't sure, but he got it around to John Anderson. The puck intercepted by Lambert. A shot in front. And Lemaire just tried to hook it in as the Leafs have difficulty. Now they get it out. Darryl Sittler up at center. Over the line to Lanny McDonald. McDonald a shot. And Dryden handled that with his glove. Robinson. A quick pass up at center. Over it comes to Lambert. Lambert takes his shot, and that goes high up into the crowd.
Now the Canadians are still using that breakout pass. That time, as soon as Robinson got a hold of the puck, both Lambert and Lafleur were heading for center ice, and that quick pass, and they're gone. You know, when you're up 2-0, you can take those chances.
Changed by the Leafs now as they send Gardner, Saginac, and Williams, and Salming is coming back out again.
Well, there's a new station in Clough Lake, Saskatchewan, watching hockey on television tonight near Lake Athabasca. 400 residents in a mining area up there. Have never seen a game until this season. So, hello up there, Clough Lake.
Doc Lemaire, Gardner, and now Burrows finally comes up with the puck. Burrows back of the net. Gets it up on the wing for Saginac. Robinson stopped him. Finally, it's Burrows flipping it into the crowd.
Well, Larry Robinson was talking before the game. He said you can't single out any one Leaf as a creator of problems in the Montreal zone.
You can't go into the playoffs and, expect to get just one person to give you hard trouble. It's a team game, and so everybody gives you problems. You just have to work hard and try to overcome it.
He's given the Leafs a lot of problems in this series. What a great defenseman, Larry Robinson.
I was going to say the whole Montreal team tonight, they are just forechecking so well, frustrating the Leafs at every turn. And you keep saying we got to get back in this, get a goal, but when a red sweater is all over you every time you touch the puck, it's very difficult to generate any offense.
Sittler was telling me once that going in against Dryden is difficult too. You don't seem to see any room. He's so big in that net. He does leave the odd rebound in front, but not much else.
Puck is cleared to center ice. Stopped there by Guy Lapointe. A long shot. Bounces into the corner. Canadians change immediately after the puck was shot in. It's cleared back for Burrows. Out there is Risebrough, Bob Gainey, and Rick Chartrois. Now then Salming coming up through center. Gets it over on the left wing. Here's Sittler with the drive, and Dryden stopped that. Great spot, Anderson. Lanny McDonald hit the goal post. Lanny McDonald bounced one off the post. Risebrough knocked it over the line. Salming shoots it back out for Sittler. Over to Lanny McDonald. Over the line. Tried to roll it through, and Guy Lapointe just flips it out and down the ice. So the Leafs finally get one off the post. Lanny McDonald cleared down the ice. That's going to be icing. This is Stanley Cup 79 from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Well, it's high time I was breaking away, 'cause it's my time. Gonna have it my way. Gonna grab my friends and head out today. We're gonna raise our glass to the good times. Molson Canadian. Molson Canadian. Raise a glass of Canadian. Raise a glass to the good times.
Well, we're keeping track of an unusual statistic tonight. Number of goalposts hit. 4 for Montreal, now 1 for the Leafs here, Gary.
Right, Brian, and you think after a game the goaltenders don't remember the ones that hit the post? You betcha they do.
12 minutes exactly remaining in the second period. Montreal leading 2-0. Gardner with Saginac and Williams. Puck taken by Ian Turnbull. Lost it here. The Canadiens in front. A backhand. Another shot. They score!
Well, you can't keep coughing up that puck in your own zone with the Canadiens standing around, and they just capitalized on a mistake.
Well, that came right off the face-off, Mondu. And again, the team spirit of the Canadiens evident as Turnbull had trouble getting the puck out. Here it is. The first shot is a rebound off the glove of Harrison. He just couldn't hold on. There's the puck slipped in behind him.
Assist number 30.
It's just good checking here, taking the man, getting in front of him, second man going for the puck.
From Pat Hughes.
And then getting the rebound, slipping it home. But it takes all three guys on the line to do the job.
There's Pat Hughes with it again, back to Savard. And it comes over to Larry Robinson, up for number 20, Cam Connor. Here's over the line again. Hughes took a shot, and that was wide. Puck grabbed off by McKechnie. McKechnie in the corner. Comes out in front of his own net. Mondu watching him. Shot up over the blue line, but Robinson was there. Now then, Dan Maloney. He's stopped by Connor. And it goes back to Larry Robinson. Robinson straight down center. There's his shot. And he blasted one wide of the net. McKechnie. Now coming out with a long pass. Maloney couldn't control it. And it's Serge Savard, back of the net. Into the corner. Off the boards to Yvon Lambert. Lambert knocks it down the ice. Salming goes back for it. Comes around on the boards to Dan Maloney to Walt McKechnie, and hit a skate as the Canadiens are all over the Maple Leafs at this stage in the game. They covering their checks. The puck goes in. After it goes Lafleur and Salming. Salming trying to get away from Lafleur. Down he goes. Cleared out, and then down the ice. Maloney goes after it. Dryden lets it go. And Savard went into the boards. It's touched by Lambert, and that is icing called against the Maple Leafs.
Gary, let's go back to that goal for a minute. If the Leafs have been able to score and make it a 2-1 game, then it's a new hockey game, because then they get some zip and some zest and some things going. But when they get down by 3, it's really hard to dig deep for that extra push you need.
Well, look, there you have two Canadiens in front of the net. Defense out of position, and, you know, there's just so much Harrison can do. But it's very frustrating when somebody's on you all the time, you know, to, again, generate any kind of offense. And the further you get behind, the harder it is, especially with Montreal, because they just keep right on going, and they can smell victory.
Lambert against Pat Boutet. It goes back to Ian Turnbull. Turnbull back of the net. Turnbull then gives it on the wing to Hutchison. Hutchison with a pass for Jerry Butler. Goes around back of the Canadian goal. He rolls it up for Lafleur. Off his skate to Lemaire. Lemaire going down over on the right side. Lambert trying to catch him. He's shot by Lemaire. And that was stopped by Harrison. Comes back to Lapointe. Lapointe, another shot. Harrison just saw it at the last second. Turnbull gets it up to Pat Boutet. Pat Boutet to Jimmy Jones. And it's offside, Jerry Butler.
Jimmy Jones took one off the back of the leg earlier in the game, and those really sting. There's really not too much protection back there, Gary, is there, in the shin pad, although they've made them a lot better nowadays than they used to.
Well, there's a little bit of felt padding, but mainly it's just sock. That's why, you know, make sure you face the shooter at all times. But when your own man hits you, it's tough to take.
Up the ice now comes Engblom. Engblom knocked it into the corner. He goes up after it. The puck is loose. They're trying to kick at it. They saw him, he gets his skate on it, and play is called.
You have to wonder, is this man coaching his last game behind the bench of the Toronto Maple Leafs? Time will tell. 9:37 to play. Speaking of time in this second period.
Well, you know, when you're playing a team like Montreal with all the firepower that they have and the way they can skate, it's a tough task anytime you play against them. I remember when they beat us out 4 straight. You know, the games were close, but the bottom line is we lost.
Bob Gainey puts it over. Here's the point right in front of the net for Mondu. Gainey right for the score! Pat Hughes.
Hey, this line, this Pat Hughes, a standout game for Montreal tonight. They're ahead by 4 now. The game turning into a bit of a rout as Montreal clicks twice here in this second period.
Well, Brian, there's a good example of what you can do when you throw that puck around. The puck just moves faster than you can skate with it. And just a great give and go and open net. Nice to watch. But the Canadiens, they have a habit of getting in good position and making their chances count.
That's his first career playoff goal. Pat Hughes making it 4-0. Montreal in front of Toronto.
Gary, I think Bob Gainey has played a stupendous game.
The whole series, though.
That's right. So we have Boreas Salming now with the puck, getting it over to Burrows, up for John Anderson. Anderson coming out of the Canadian line, by the center to get to Sittler. Sittler couldn't get a shot. Sittler's got it again. The line is down, a shot wide. Rick Shitrov over behind the net, around for Boreas Salming, kept it in. Now it goes to Larry Robinson. He's jammed by Anderson. Robinson then comes up with it, and he shot it down the ice for Dougie Risebrough, but it's going to be touched by Burrows. Icing is the call. With the score, Montreal 4 and Toronto nothing. This is Stanley Cup 79.
Before you buy any small car, compare Pinto's price. The Pinto two-door sedan is $200 less than Honda Civic, $500 less than Datsun 210, $800 less than Toyota Corolla, and $1,400 less than VW Rabbit. All price comparisons based on manufacturer's suggested retail prices, transportation and handling charges extra. Ford Pinto. It may be the best small car value in Canada.
There's the crowd at the Gardens, part of it anyway. They came expecting to see similar excitement to that we witnessed here last night. So far, it hasn't been quite the same.
Darryl Sittler gets the puck back to Quenneville. Quenneville over to Turnbull. Here comes the shot. Dryden goes down and covers up.
See, there's a situation right there, Brian, where one of the Leafs, should try to get himself in front of the net. He had plenty of time because it went from Quenneville over to Turnbull. That takes about 6 or 7 seconds, so it's important that one of the forwards, during that period of time, get himself in front of the net.
But they never had to tell you that. I know that.
Well, thank you.
Your favorite position.
I didn't know any better.
He made it easy on play-by-play because we knew where he's going to be at all times, right in front of the net. The puck comes over to Bob Gainey. Gainey gets it over on the wing to Savard, back to Larry Robinson, and Robinson heads out with a pass out over the blue line. Sittler's got it, though, and Sittler's pass to Turnbull. Ian Turnbull takes his shot. Dryden played that carelessly and just went wide of the open side of the net. Savard gets a pass up for Bob Gainey. Bob Gainey. Robinson flies to center, goes over the line, drops it on the wing. Back it comes to Risebrough. There's his shot. That's wide. Robinson knocked it into the corner. Chartraw was covered, and Ronnie Ellis has the puck. His pass for Anderson broke it up. Here's Chartraw clearing it over to Gainey. Gainey shot it around on the boards to Lemaire. Lemaire shot it out in front, and it comes over to Ellis. Ellis' pass for Sittler. Sittler got by Gainey this time over the line. Goes in behind the net. Tries to center it, and it deflects over the glass into the crowd.
Just no room there for Sittler. Next Saturday on Sports Weekend, there's coverage of the FA Cup semifinal games between Manchester United and Liverpool, then Arsenal and Wolverhampton. Watch Sports Weekend Saturdays on CBC television.
Seven minutes and 34 seconds remain in the second period. 4-0, Montreal leading. Puck grabbed off by the Canadiens again. Coming up is Engblom. He shoots the puck in. Guy Lafleur is out there with Lemaire and Lambert, and they get a face-off. Time to play, 7:22. Walt McKechnie lost the draw. Lafleur passed it outside the blue line, and Engblom had to go back. Now it's up for Lambert. Tipped it into the corner, and Boreas Salming shoots it around on the boards for Maloney. Maloney out to McKechnie. Walt McKechnie shoots it in. Ellis goes after it. Ingblom left it there, and gee, the point. Just shoots it into the crowd.
You know, the Canadian defense never put themselves in an awkward position. You know, you never see them making those rink-wide passes in their own zone. When they're in trouble, just dump it out or along the boards, but never where somebody can intercept it. Why beat yourself? I guess that goes with experience, doesn't it? Yeah. Good coaching.
Ingblom gets it ahead to Guy Lafleur. Lafleur coming up to center ice with Lemaire. Lafleur is over the line and falls. And Dan Maloney. His pass to McKechnie for Ellis. And that was behind him. It's wrapped out by the Canadians and down the ice inside Leaf territory with 6:36 remaining in the second period. Here's McKechnie shooting the puck over the line, and back there is the point. The point for Lambert, and that's going to go to the length of the ice, and that'll be icing as soon as it's touched by Hutchison. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
The professional ones. Ever-ready alkaline power cells. Used by Boris Spremo, top news photographer and winner of 150 Canadian and international awards. Boris only gets one chance to capture award-quality pictures like these, so his professional equipment always includes ever-ready alkaline power cells. Long-lasting, reliable.
They're really professional. I proved that in thousands of assignments.
Ever-ready alkaline power cells. The professional ones.
Well, there you see the two coaches, Roger Nielsen and Scotty Bowman. Looking at their faces, you wouldn't know who was ahead. But Montreal is 4-0. 6 minutes and 19 seconds and counting. A shot off Anderson, goes over to the far wing, and back to Hutchison. A shot, and that was stopped by Dryden. Puck hits the side of the net. Savard up for Connor, chops it out. Here's a chance for Risebrough, going over the line with Pat Hughes. Pat Hughes' pass comes to the other side. Robinson couldn't keep it in, and Serge Savard gives it to Robinson. Over to Doug Risebrough, and he shoots it over the line. A shot back out again. Now then Robinson, over the line. Robinson getting set it through. At the Canadian player, Rick Chertrock couldn't get a handle on the puck. Now it's Sittler. He was checked. Savard to Robinson. Over to Risebrough. Risebrough just puts it in. That's going over the red line. It'll be touched, and we have another face-off for icing.
The Leafs have gone 19 games without a victory over Montreal dating back to November 17th, 1976. And again, for late tuners in, Mike Palmatier was taken to hospital today. Had a minor operation on his arm to relieve some pressure in there on the muscle. He was in great pain last night during the latter stages of this hockey game.
Yes, it's a wonder he was able to continue when you figure he was hurt in the second period and he had to go into the second overtime.
Now I know why Scotty stays so cool all the time. He keeps chewing on ice all night.
Thought he had a swollen jaw.
Puck goes to Larry Robinson. Comes back to the blue line. Hutchison kept it in with a shot.
Little delayed reaction there, but it went in.
Rocky Saganuk, I believe, tipped it in.
The whistle would have gone in another second, so they scored just in time. It's 4-1 now. The Leafs finally get one past Dryden here in this hockey game.
Well, Hutch just lays it out in front of the net. Leafs had two men right in front. They keep whacking at it, and Saganuk knocks it in the net. And
Gardner.
one good thing about it, Myers was in great position. You know, he was on that side of the net.
Hutchison and Gardner will probably draw assists. I think it was Gardner's deflection that steered the puck into Dryden.
Saganuk. Assist number 23, Dave Hutchison, and number 18, Paul Gardner. Time 14:46. Rocky Saganuk from Dave Hutchison and Paul Gardner. Time 14:46.
That makes it a 4-1 hockey game as it's back in Canadian territory. Around on the boards. It comes, and Lambert trying to get it loose. Gardner fights for it. Gardner comes up with it. Shoots the puck into the corner. And Guy Lafleur flipping it up into the crowd as he tried to get away from Tiger Williams.
Well, the Leafs are still working. You know, you have to give them credit there. Each guy is working as hard as he can.
Well, Gary, if they could get another one here before this period comes to an end, it would really give them a little zip.
Make it very interesting, Brian.
The puck in the face-off circle comes back to Burrows. A shot in front. Gardner was knocked down. And there's going to be a cross-checking penalty handed out. And coming off the ice is Brian Engblom. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
What's the great name in sports? For over 100 years, the name Spalding has been found wherever great athletes meet to test their skills. When you want sports equipment that lets you be your best, choose Spalding, the great name in sports.
First penalty of this second period goes to Brian Engblom for cross-checking at 15:22. Let's see if we can catch it.
Well, Engblom was clearing the front of the net, and I guess they could have called that interference. Cross-checking. Great opportunity.
Corey Salving with the puck, gets it over to Ian Turnbull. Leafs for the man advantage. Lanny McDonald there. And that one seemed to hit Pat Boutet. Another shot, Fiddler's shot. And that one was stopped from point-blank range. Boy, the Leafs are now putting on the pressure.
You know, it was Boutet, I think, who got in front of that first shot. May have given a little bit of an assist to Dryden on the play as Scotty Bowman looks on.
This is the first time tonight, Brian, where the Leafs had put a little pressure on them, you know, where they had 2 or 3 good chances to put one by Dryden. You know,
the crowd senses it, too. Well, we got time to take a look at it again. There's Boutet getting all tangled up with Dryden. Here's the second try by Sittler.
Robinson stopped the last one.
All set to go as Lemaire is out there. Lanny McDonald passing it to Boutet. It comes to Sir Savard, and Savard clears to the line, but not out. Turnbull kept it in. Knocking it to Pat Boutet to Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald back to Turnbull. There's his shot, high and wide. Leafs keep the puck in. Finally, it's Sir Savard rolling it out, and Lemaire missed it. Ian Turnbull comes back over the line to Sittler. Darryl Sittler from the side. Roll it right in front of Pat Boutet. It's good.
There's the second one they were looking for on the power play. Sittler, who missed moments earlier when Robinson blocked his shot, got it upstairs on Dryden, and now it's 4-2, and things are really getting heated up here.
All right, don't go away. We've got something going here. Good individual effort here. On the power play, Sittler picks up that loose puck, beats Dryden high. He didn't even see it.
Boutet had a chance. That was blocked. Sittler got the rebound and put it upstairs.
I don't know how that ever got through that opening, but the Leafs are back into it, and now you look at a key situation where that next goal.
It's the 5th goal of the playoffs for Sittler and his 3rd against Montreal. We have time to look at it again. Maybe we'll see it from this angle a little more clearly. There's Savard. He can't corral it. Through traffic behind Dryden.
Now we have a 4-2 hockey game with 3:54 remaining in the second period.
The crowd even has come alive now.
Oh, boy.
Now it's Guy Lapointe. Long pass up for Lambert. Lambert knocks it over the line. Hutchison goes down. Puck comes loose to Sittler. Sittler is checked. Lambert goes after it. Harrison cleared it into the corner. Pat Hughes is there. And then John Anderson took it away from him. Up to Lanny McDonald for Darryl Sittler. And it goes to Lanny McDonald, who gets it back to Hutchison. Over onto the... Cleared by Robinson. Then Risebrough is watched by Anderson. He's checked, and the puck comes out. Dave Hutchison has it at center, trying to get it over the line, and it's called offside at the blue line.
Let's go downstairs now to Dave Hodge.
In our second intermission, a film profile of Walter McKechnie of the Leafs. Gary Dornhofer and Bob Golden will talk about a subject that they're very familiar with, playing in the so-called trenches in front of the net. And Howie Meeker will have highlights of the second period.
I look forward to that profile on Walt McKechnie, who's really been a standout for the Leafs this year. And of course, I'm always interested in what you're going to say to Bob Golden, Gary.
Well, you're going to get the view of what I try to do or what a player does in front of the net, and then what a defenseman tries to do to get him out of there. So Bob should have some interesting comments.
Goes back to Dave Burrows. Burrows clears the puck in, and the point. Steering it around the other side and went over Ellis' stick. Cleared by Lemaire, trying to hit Lafleur. Now Lapointe up to Lafleur. Lafleur takes his shot, and Harrison stopped that. McKechnie gets it back to Salming. Salming shot it off the boards, but not out. Lemaire drove it back in again, and Burrows makes sure to Maloney. Maloney to McKechnie. Over the line with Ellis. Tried to steer it through. Burrows knocked it the rest of the way. Windblown gets it around and down the ice, and Boreas Salming will have to go back and get it. We have 2:25 to go in the second period. 4-2, Montreal leading. Pass to Dan Maloney, goes back to Salming. Stopped in by Mondu, a shot. Harrison stopped that. Lafleur goes after Burrows, but Burrows pulls away from him. Up at center. And that's Lemaire trying to cover Ellis. McKechnie's pass over to Burrows. Burrows drives it to the line, and the Canadiens just shoot it out. Going after it was Risebrough. Now over the line for Lemaire. He took a shot off Salming. Back to Boreas Salming. His long pass going down the ice. Risebrough gets it up, and a pass ahead to Risebrough. Risebrough still with the puck. Gets it over the line, and his pass was too far for Chartrand. Williams down the left wing. And Geeney to Savard, to Larry Robinson. Off the boards and out to center ice. Quenville then brings it back over the line. Chartrand had him covered, but it's cleared to Gardner. Puck ends up behind the net. Into the corner for Paul Gardner again. And he gets it out in front. The three Canadiens break away. Up at center ice. Over the line. Pass to Risebrough. Risebrough is knocked down. Chartrand's got the puck. Chartrand pass over. A backhand, and that's way wide of the net. After the Chartrand. Williams had him covered. Now then Turnbull clears it around on the boards for Saganuk. Jockey Saganuk with 43 seconds. Trying to get away at center. He does, over the line. Takes the shot, and he drove it wide. The rebound goes all the way to center ice. 33 seconds left. The puck goes in high, caught by Dryden. Off the board, Pat Hughes knocks it out. Cleared over to Quenville. Quenville lost it, and Quenville knocked down Bob Geeney as Burrows shoots the puck over for Anderson. Pass to Gardner, and it's offside. Back inside the Leaf blue line.
That was definitely offside. The Canadiens were complaining about an offside play last night, or one they thought was offside that paid off in a Toronto goal. Now we're down to 13 seconds, and this period started tamely enough, but we've had quite a finish now as the Leafs clicked for 2 goals. First Saganuk, and then Sittler on the power play. So it's 4-2 now. Montreal in front, 13 seconds to play, second period.
Darryl Sittler with Lanny McDonald and John Anderson. Gets it back to Burrows. Burrows had it hit a stick. Now it comes out to center ice. Engblom, a long shot. Harrison stops that. It goes over to Anderson. Anderson gets rid of it. And there goes the bell to end the second period. And the two teams are getting set now to leave the ice. And so the score at the end of the second period is Montreal 4, Toronto 2.
Back in 1832, Halifax was a growing seaport, trading lumber and fish in the markets of the Caribbean and Great Britain. That was the year a handful of merchants formed Halifax's first public bank, the Bank of Nova Scotia. They believed that making an investment in hard-working people was a good investment. They weren't wrong. 50 years later, Scotiabank opened a Winnipeg office and helped the Western farmer harvest another kind of sea, a sea of wheat. In the late 1950s, banks weren't in the business of promoting small personal loans. Scotiabank made it their business and started giving credit where credit was due. Investing in hard-working people with imagination. It was a good idea back in 1832, and it's a good idea today.
Smart man, Larry. When he got to be a family man, he decided to go first class in his choice of tires and picked the one and only Michelin. Like Michelin quality so much, put a set on his truck. And even on his 10-speed. The one and only Michelin.
It's the only tire I'd own.
Michelin.
Canadiens 4 and the Leafs 2 at the end of 2 periods. For the first half of this hockey game, we watched a Montreal clinic, pure and simple. Pierre Mondu and Pat Hughes took turns setting each other up for the 3rd and 4th Montreal goals, but then the Leafs took heart from their first goal by Rocky Saganuk, got a power play when Engblom took a penalty, and Darryl Sittler scored his 5th playoff goal of this season. The Leafs have a chance now, trailing by 2 at the end of 2 periods. Now a film profile of Walter McKechnie.
Well, you have to appreciate just being in the league, and I really appreciate being around the National Hockey League for my 12 years. And when I started out, I thought 10 would be great, and I put in 12, and I hope to play a few more. There's only been a couple of times where I was really down, where I felt maybe like quitting, like last year. I could have packed it in, but I stuck with it, and the greatest thing ever happened to me was coming to Toronto, and I'm sure enjoying it here.
Ah, yes, every hockey player enjoys scoring goals, and on that one we just saw, Walt combined effectively with Ian Turnbull. These two often get together for lunch also, at Grapes, Ian's restaurant near Maple Leaf Gardens, and a favorite gathering place for many of the Leafs after practice.
But I heard some of the guys saying that maybe this Thursday we're having a meeting on getting it organized for the baseball this summer.
Mm-hmm. The Molson's people are talking about home and home with the Montreal Canadiens this year. One here at Exhibition Stadium and probably one back at the Olympic Stadium. It should be a good draw for charities, you know. It'd be great. I think we'll probably play 5 or 6 games this year.
Hope they go back to London this year. That's quite a good draw there last year.
Yeah, it worked out really well last time.
Of course, London, Ontario is Walt's hometown, where among his interests he has a hardware store with his partner Jim Gregson.
I have quite a few ties here in London and made some good business connections, and I definitely will always make London my hometown. Jim and I have been friends for quite a few years, and we got into the hardware business through a friend of ours, Ernie Bruce, who was the director of sales of our supplier here in London. And we were looking for something to get into, and that's the reason we got into the hardware business.
Well, partner, I'll tell you, we got a big job to do. There's 150 of these gas barbecues in stock, and I'll tell you, we got to move them.
There's 20 potential buyers down there and the guys in the team, and hopefully I'll be able to sell a few of them to them.
This looks great for Darryl Sittler's backyard. I can see it right there, and super price, too.
I really enjoy just going out to the store and walking around in it. I don't do too much out there because I'm not really into serving the people, but I help out in the stock room and whatnot. Like I say, Jimmy Gregson, I'm more or less a silent partner in it. He oversees it. This is one of my real enjoyable times is when I come back here to London and I come down in my basement here and have a game of pool with some of my friends, reading by myself. Really enjoy it. Relaxes me. Takes my mind off hockey and whatnot.
On another day, our cameras caught Walt visiting Bloorview Children's Hospital School in suburban Toronto. And naturally, the kids enjoyed the opportunity of meeting face-to-face and talking person to person.
Yeah. You seem to know them all, eh?
Try, I've got a poster of all of you.
Is that right?
So I can't remember what number you are.
11.
A little wheelchair hockey followed. And it's rather obvious that the Maple Leafs' big number 11 enjoys these hospital visits almost as much as the youngsters.
I'm kind of disappointed that I don't do more of it. That's one thing that bothers me, but our time is taken up with practicing and whatnot. 80 games in 180 days, you don't really get that much time. You come in here maybe having a few problems and whatnot. And when you leave, you realize that your problems are awfully small. I get a great feeling of satisfaction just seeing the smiles on their face, and they really appreciate you coming in. Like a couple of them really get attached to you, and they just follow you around. And the energy they have and the desire they have is just fantastic.
Just about every NHL player can name one person as being most influential in his career, sometimes a coach, sometimes another player. And we wondered who played that role in Walt's hockey life.
Well, definitely my mother. When times were tough, when I was in Oakland last year, I'd talk about quitting or thought it was the end of the world, and she kept encouraging me on and telling me that problems were very small and things would get better, and they sure did.
Walt McKechnie, who has played well in this, his first season as a Toronto Maple Leaf. Perhaps his days of traveling from team to team are over.
McKechnie was one of many players who last night did not break into the 3 stars, but who certainly played a superb game. Gary and Bob in the trenches, as we call it, as Stanley Cup 79 continues in just a moment.
You're
miles each year. Top Ford trucks. At your Ford and Mercury dealers now.
There is a quartz watch you can trust. Yeah? It has electronic quartz accuracy. Quartz? That's advanced. Plus, Bulova Accutron dependability. Bulova Accutron. Now that's dependable. Introducing the new Bulova Accutron quartz. Ah. Beautiful and slim. Unbeatably accurate. Oh? And virtually maintenance-free. I like it. I feel I can trust it. We hoped you would.
Looking for good times. Now you know what you might find. Looking for good times. Whatever catches your eye, and when you raise a glass, raise up Canadian. For some Canadian. For some Canadian. Raise a glass to the good times.
Okay, at the end of the second period, the score, Montreal 4, Toronto Maple Leafs 2. Bob, I'm going to give you a chance to retaliate after I let everybody know what I try to do in front of that net and how important it is. And first of all, anytime we're in the offensive zone and the puck is back at our point man, anytime a shot is directed at the net, I'm going to try and position myself in front of the net. And what I do is I'm always facing the shooter, because you know how those defensemen fire that puck up around your nose. So I'm trying to get position, so trying to screen the goalie and also trying to deflect it. How are you going to react to a situation like that?
I got to go back, Gary, and one of the many things I learned from Half Day, probably the most important thing I think he taught me, was the fact that you never turn your back on the puck. You're in behind me and you're going to screen a goalkeeper. I want to be between you and the puck. I don't care where it is, but I want to keep my eye on the puck. In other words, when that shot comes in, I'm not concerned about the fact you're in behind me. I'm concerned about I'm going to try to block that shot and not let it get through.
In other words, you're going to let me stand there? You're not going to move me out of there?
Well, hey, I'm going to move, you get a guy like Robinson or yourself or Dan Maloney, it's like trying to move a tree. All you're trying to do, take a look at this now. Salming's playing perfectly, and Burroughs are both of them watching the puck. And he's really not creating that much of a screen up until right now. He screened it, and obviously somebody didn't block the puck.
All right, so wouldn't it be better for a defenseman to move out Robinson when the shot is being directed at the net to give Paul Matier a chance to see it?
That's one train of thought. Personally, I felt that trying to move the guy out of there, I was tying myself up. And if you're smart in there, that's what you're trying to do, tie up that defenseman as well as screen the goalkeeper. So I don't want to get tied up. I want to be able to move if there is a loose puck.
Right. All right, we have another one. Let's see Lambert's work in front of the net.
Well, he's a little tougher because, you know, he gets a little physical. Of course, he got a pretty good shot there from Palmatier. But see, both the defensemen, until right then, your defenseman on the left screen, they're following the puck well. And like I say, this is what a defenseman should try to do. You know, don't get yourself tied up in there by the guy that's putting up the screen.
Right. The Islanders, I think they probably do it the best. They play in front of the screening man and block a lot of shots. And the only chance that you got is if it goes through, a chance to deflect it.
Well, you know, so many times when a defenseman doesn't take advantage of the fact, use the hands. You know, you can knock down those high shots with your hand. You can take them in the chest. I think the big thing is don't get yourself out of the play, and you can do that in two ways, by not making the block or committing yourself and getting tied up by the guy on the screen.
You know, one other point, Bob, I always enjoyed when a defenseman would take me out, because what I would try to do is fall into the goalie. So now I've eliminated two of you.
Now you get three guys all in a bundle and probably an open net.
Okay, very good. Enjoyed that. All right. We'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just one moment.
Ryder rents trucks, all kinds of trucks. And Ryder does everything possible to make sure the wipers work, the headlights work, the brakes and steering and transmissions have been checked out. So practically nothing can stop a Ryder truck. Because when you rent trucks, you don't want them to give you problems. You want them to solve your problems. Ryder, the best truck money can rent.
Water power. For nearly 100 years, Canadian General Electric has been helping turn this natural resource into electricity, bringing progress to Canadians. Today, CGE is Canada's leader in high-voltage technology, which transmits that power more efficiently than ever before to industries like this giant steel mill, where it's put to work, helping provide products and jobs for Canadians. Progress for people from Canadian General Electric.
At Mutual Life, most of us learn about being a parent the same way you do, firsthand. So we understand your hopes for tomorrow, because we share them. And when you go to buy life insurance for yourself, we know who you're really thinking of, because we know what you know.
Life is a mutual affair. Hey!
Howie, two ways to look at the game. The great plays that the Canadians have made, and perhaps they've gone to that Vezina Trophy game a little bit too early again.
Yeah, but the whole key is how you perform the skills. Puck control is also important. You can't give Montreal the puck. On Robinson's goal, the Leafs shot it in. 15 seconds later, it was in their net. And particularly when you're handling the puck and getting rid of it, you have to complete the pass. If you give it to the Canadians by a poor pass, hey, you're really in trouble. Watch this. Turnbull has the puck and tries to make a pass to Ellis or Sittler, either one. The pass isn't completed. Now, there, Leafs gave it to the Canadians. Just watch what happens. There's one pass. This one isn't too good. It's in the skates. But from here on in, it is just beautiful. They handle the puck, pass it so well and so hard. Now watch this, and Mondu goes in home free. Isn't that beautiful? The way that they pass the puck and the speed of the passes and how well they receive it. There's a scoring chance. It didn't go in. Leafs have the puck again, behind the net, coming out of their own end. A simple 30-foot pass to Williams along top of your screen, and if that's completed, the Leafs are not in trouble. Watch here. One pass, a nice little drop pass, look at through the middle. Chartrand. Pretty good scoring position. The Sittler goal. Hey, Canadians could be tired, and Dryden could be tired too. He goes down early on the Boutet shot. Leaves his feet. And notice 4 Montreal Canadian defenders are back there. Canadians play the puck, not the man, and Sittler finally gets it upstairs. The only place you're going to beat that Dryden. The key is throw it high on Dryden and keep that puck going at the net.
Howie, the Leafs should come out with some fire beneath them in this period, and I expect the Canadians to try pretty hard early to get the 5th goal so they can relax just a little bit again. We'll see live from Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens, Stanley Cup 79.
Teams are on the ice for the third period. There's the score, Montreal 4, Toronto 2. And the summary of that second period, Mondu 8:06, Hughes at 10:31, Saginaw.
Puck, not the man, and Sittler finally gets it upstairs. The only place you're going to beat that Dryden. The key is throw it high on Dryden and keep that puck going at the net.
Oh, the Leafs should come out with some fire beneath them in this period, and I expect the Canadiens to try pretty hard early to get the 5th goal so they can relax just a little bit again. We'll see live from Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens, Stanley Cup 79.
Let's live in our weekends. You can do what you want to do then. Hey, are you breaking away this weekend? Hey, hey, breaking away for the good times. Hey, hey, breaking away for the good times. Hey, are you breaking away this weekend? Then raise a glass of the beer. Let's brew for this country. Molson Canadian. Molson Canadian. Raise a glass of Canadian to the good times.
Teams are on the ice for the third period. There's the score, Montreal 4, Toronto 2. And the summary of that second period, Mondu 8:06, Hughes at 10:31, Saginaw at 14:46, Sittler at 16:06, and the shots on goal, Montreal 14, Toronto 11.
I think that the fans here are really going to get in the spirit of things, and the players will respond. You know, they got 2 goals late in the period, and I'm sure they had a lot of enthusiasm in the dressing room, and, you know, the guys are saying, come on, we can get going here. You know, we're only 2 behind, not 4.
And what will the Montreal players be saying in that intermission?
Well, they had a letdown. There's no question about it. They had the 4-0 lead. They thought they had the game in the bag, and they started playing very loosey-goosey, and they've got to get things going now.
Rangers leading your Philadelphia Flyers 4-0 in the second. Boston over Pittsburgh 2-1 in the second.
Play underway and run all the way down into Montreal territory where Larry Robinson has the puck. Off the boards to Rick Chartrois. Chartrois gets it over to Bob Gainey. He's poke checked by Boreas Salming. Lanny McDonald is checked. Salming comes back through center. A long shot. Dryden stopped that. Here's another try and another stop by Dryden as the Leafs start to open up with the artillery.
You know, it's very important when you come out of that dressing room that the first shift that you have sets the tempo of that period. And the Leafs got into that zone and had 2 good shots. Now you're going to see the blast by Salming from the point. Dryden never had any trouble with it, but they got the puck in there and they're putting on some pressure.
Canadians get the draw, and it's Serge Savard. Over on the far side to Bob Gainey, then cleared by Risebrough up to center ice. Now the Leafs come back. Burrow shooting the puck in. Off the boards, Larry Robinson. Robinson, a cleared pass, cleared by Chartrois to Risebrough, and he just elects to dump it into the corner. Gainey went behind the net, and it was picked off by Salming. Salming's pass for Anderson is going the length of the ice. Going back to get it is Serge Savard, and it's whistled down for icing.
Well, if a 5th game in this series is necessary, it'll be played in Montreal Tuesday night, and we'll bring you that action from the Forum. If Montreal should win tonight, then we'll bring you the game, New York Rangers at Philadelphia Tuesday night, 8 o'clock start Eastern Time.
Jacques Lemaire out there with Guy Lafleur and Yvon Lambert. Leafs win the draw. McKechnie, a long pass for Ellis, and he couldn't control it. Wendell had it go off his stick. Here's a pass to Lemaire, and a call back on the offside. Jacques Lemaire, number 25, Montreal Canadiens.
Out in Winnipeg today, the Quebec St. Foy midget team won the Air Canada tournament, the midget championship of Canada, by defeating Ontario's St. Michael's College 9-7 in overtime.
A long pass. Here's Lemaire getting into the clear. Going in alone. Shoots. And Harrison made a save. Lemaire tried to get it out in front again. As Paul Harrison made the save. Now it goes over to Ellis. Back to Turnbull. Turnbull coming down. Takes his shot. It was weak. And it's gloved by Dryden and held under.
Oh, that was a big save by Harrison. His best save, I would say, of this hockey game.
Well, that's what you need, Brian. You know, had Montreal scored there, it would have been a difficult task, but Harrison certainly came up big, and, you know, a situation like that has to get the guys going.
He had to be quick on that rebound. Lemaire appeared to be out of the play after taking the initial shot, then he batted at the puck, and that very nearly trickled through the pads of Harrison, but a big save. Mark Napier injured last night, watching on. He had a big game last night for Montreal.
Montreal 4, Toronto 2. The Leafs have the puck. Saginaw a shot. Right in front for Williams. It's cleared over to Guy Lapointe. A long shot out at center. Gardner, who went to get a new stick, shoots it back out to center ice. Now Saginaw is checked. It's Jacques Lemaire. Lemaire covered by Gardner, and the puck goes into Leaf territory, ends up behind the net, and it's Boreas Selman. Selman with Hutchison. Up to Williams. Williams shot. Knocked down by Saginaw. Here's the shot. Missed the open side of the net. Passed out in front again. Saginaw with a backhand. Gardner couldn't get it. Boreas Selman a shot. And Guy Lafleur comes back. He gives it to Lambert. Lafleur. Lafleur shoots. Oh, he shot it wide. Back for Robinson. Then to Mondeau to Lafleur. And changing on the go. Great chance at either end. Here's Williams. Williams shoots the puck in. Larry Robinson gets it. Off the boards and down the ice. Pat Hughes couldn't touch it. Salming will, and we have an up. But Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this was Stanley Cup 79.
Patch roof leaks the easy way with Tremco Instant Patch. Use it in almost any weather to stop leaks on roofs, chimneys, and gutters. Instant Patch's exclusive formula of glass and organic fibers dries to a tough membrane that seals holes up to a 1/4 inch in diameter. Tremco Instant Patch by the makers of Tremclad, Canada's #1 rust paint. Look for Instant Patch and other fine Tremco products in this Tremco Home Maintenance Center, wherever you buy paint or home care items.
Well, there we have the coaches, Scotty Bowman and Roger Nielsen.
Scotty knows where he's going to be next year. He signed again to coach Montreal, but the future of Roger Nielsen still somewhat in doubt. A little repair work going on to the pads of Paul Harrison.
Another thing, Brian, it's very uncharacteristic that Montreal would try to sit on a 4-goal lead. You know, they usually keep going and go for that 5th, 6th, and 7th. And they just laid back and let Toronto take the play to them.
Bill and I were saying, how long has it been since Montreal would have blown a 4-0 lead?
It's Serge Savard. A pass up on the wing. Coming down to center, Bob Gainey. A long shot off the board. Shuts off. Tried to get it back to Gainey. Gainey has the puck. A pass for Risebrough. Gainey's got it again. And then it's finally knocked away from him out to center ice. Larry Robinson brings it back. Robinson is knocked down. But Bob Gainey's there. Shoots the puck back into his own zone. Savard and Anderson. There's Savard knocked off the puck. Sittler tried to center it. It goes over to the far board. And Robinson chopped it out to center ice. Back for Quenville. He's checked. There's a race for the puck. Risebrough over the line. He's turned around and covered by Quenville. But it's knocked back into the corner by Chartraw, and the Canadiens are changing on the go. Up for Turnbull. Ahead for Lanny McDonald. He flips the puck in. Robinson. Then a pass to Pat Hughes. Here's Hughes coming down the ice with Mondeau. They're over the line, going in together. Mondeau in. Oh, he shot a backhand wide. The rebound goes to Sittler. Sittler has Ellis. Ellis over the line, trying to go around the defense, and Dryden knocked it off to the wing. Goes back to the net. Sittler centered it to the blue line. Burrows a backhand. It goes in front of the Canadian defense, and now Montreal starts to move again. Mondeau, a pass over to Connor. Connor. And to Hughes. Hughes is bumped. And Walt McKechnie comes up with it. McKechnie up for Maloney, and that goes down the ice. And going back to get it is Ryan Engblom. Engblom's pass. Got by Maloney. Now then, it's Guy Lafleur to Guy Lapointe, and he just shoots it out and down the ice. That's going over the red line. That'll be brought back for icing. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Since 1977, we've had ESP. ESP is the Ford Extended Service Plan option. It covers specified repair costs to major components of new Ford and Mercury cars, even light trucks, for 3 years or 60,000 kilometers. ESP also includes towing, a courtesy car, and servicing across Canada and the U.S. The Ford Extended Service Plan. Ask for full details at participating Ford and Mercury dealers.
And there we see the time remaining, 15-15 in the third period. 4-2, Montreal leads. As the puck goes to Guy Lafleur, around on the wing to Lambert. Lambert and Engblom. Engblom hit Ellis. The puck kept in. Maloney catches shot. That was stopped by Dryden. And now it's Guy Lafleur driving it along the boards. Ellis kept it in. It's shot in front of the net and shot down the ice. Harrison had to stop it. And back is Dave Burrow. Dave Burrow over on the right side for Boreas Salming. Up it comes to Walt McKechnie over the blue line. McKechnie pass for Burrows. His shot knocked down, and the Canadiens score them. A pass up to Lemaire. Over on the wing to Lambert. A hard shot. Harrison stopped that. Walt McKechnie. A pass to Maloney. Maloney up at center. Over the line. Passes one to Ellis. Call it offside at the blue line.
Well, Maloney was going in over the line, and he opted for the pass on the right side, but he passed it back outside the line just as he stepped over.
Well, Maloney's arguing the play, but you know, there was no question about it that it was offside.
Al Strachan, the sports editor of the Montreal Gazette, invaded the Leaf room the other night, and Maloney told him to butt out. They were having a little conference as to where they might go and dine that evening. So he got the message, take a hike.
Puck back to the net. Shot out to center ice. Here's a 2-on-1 for the Canadiens. Over the line. Weisbrauch shoots. Oh, he whapped that one off the goal post. Puck back up at center ice. Now it's Turnbull. Getting to the line, offside on the right side was Rocky Saginaw.
5 goalposts tonight behind Harrison. The playoff scoring leaders, Don Maloney of the Rangers. What a finish he's had to an exciting season. 10 points. Sittler, Esposito with 9, Lafleur, Lemaire with 8, and Bill Barber with 7.
And he's quite a story there in New York. Played most of the year in New Haven and coming up playing with Esposito and doing a tremendous job.
Hey, and Esposito's had a good year, too.
On the face-off, the Canadiens have it. Shooting it into the corner. Larry Robinson gets it out to Lemaire. Lemaire's long shot is wide. Lafleur off the board. Knocked back at center ice. Serge Savard shoots it back in again. Harrison out of his net. Left it there for Quenville. Quenville trying to get around Lafleur. Williams goes back. Williams went right in front of his own net. And that nearly went in the net. Quenville. A pass over for Turnbull. Turnbull pass back for Quenville, and Lambert has it now for Montreal. Gives it to Lafleur. Lafleur couldn't get a shot. And it's back out at center. Larry Robinson. Flip pass for Lafleur. He just backhands it in. And the Canadiens are changing on the go. Back up for Turnbull. Up at center. And he skated off. Puck going to Savard. Over for Bob Gainey. Gainey goes back to Robinson. Up for Savard. Savard moving through center. His pass over the line. His skating shot. And he drove it wide. Hutchison brings it back with 12:39 remaining in regulation time. Hutchison, a pass to Sittler. Harold Sittler. A pass, and here's a chance for Gainey. Checked by Salming before he could get into the clear. But Gainey still has it. There's a shot right in front. As Gainey went down on a heavy check from Lenny McDonald. Hutchison, pass up for Sittler. Sittler goes over the line. Sittler going through with Anderson. And that shot was stopped by Dryden, and it's cleared around on the boards for Gainey again. Bob Gainey up to center. Just shoots the puck slowly into Leaf territory, and we have 11 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the third period. Anderson chased back behind the net. Pat Hughes up there after the puck with Salming. Salming has to go down and cover up. This is Stanley Cup 79 from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Hey, John, she's done.
Great. Brought something to celebrate with.
Hey, all right.
Al and the guys have had some good times building this boat and sharing some Molson export.
What happens if she doesn't float? Can't you swim?
Time is right. Your friends are here. You couldn't ask for a better beer. Export keeps on tasting great.
I like it.
When the time is right for great beer.
There's the time. 8 minutes, 19 seconds have been played in this third period. The score is Montreal 4, Toronto 2. Facing off in the circle, Mondu out there with Hughes and Connor. Puck back of the net for Boreas Salming. Salming trying to bring it out. He shot it off the boards, out over the line, stopped by Pat Hughes. Pat Hughes shot it in offside as Connor was inside the blue line.
Connor, the hero, 5:25 into the second overtime last night. Talking to him today, he said he played his junior hockey in Flin Flon, and Bobby Clark's dad was the foreman of his shift in the mines. And I said, "You enjoy working in the mines?" He says, "I loved it."
And he's come a long way.
Mondu out there with Connors is cleared off the board, stopped by Jerry Butler. Butler shot it to an open wing. Back there forward is Guy Lapointe, knocking it back to center. Now here's the Canadians with Connor coming over with Mondu. Try to pass through from Mondu, too well covered by Jerry Butler. Jimmy Jones to Boreas Salming. Headmans the puck to Butler, over to Pat Boutet. Pat Boutet in for Jerry Butler, who's behind him. Here Mondu, pass knocked down by Jerry Butler. They go to the corner, Salming's in there as well. Play is called, and the faceoff will be in the circle.
You notice on Salming there, he went right into the corner and tried to come up with that puck. The Leafs have to take some chances. Now they're 2 goals behind. Time is the biggest factor. And, you know, anytime you do that, Brian, those 2-on-1s, 3-on-1 breaks can go against you.
Here comes a pair now, McDonald and Sittler. They've had some good chances here tonight. Sittler got the power play score for the second Leaf goal late in the second period.
It goes back to Larry Robinson. Around it comes for Guy Lafleur. Lafleur coming down the ice, takes his shot off the boards. Harrison knocks it off the glass. Lafleur gets it back. Quenville and Lambert. Quenville gets it out to center right. Pat Boutet races after it. He's over the line. Here comes the shot. And that was stopped by Dryden. Now Sittler has it again. Sittler right in front of Boutet. And he just missed it. Guy Lafleur flips it out and down the ice. There's a race for it. Quenville clearing it for Laney McDonald, but it's offside from inside his own blue line over the red line at center.
Good cover up there by Lemaire, because Boutet was all alone. The defenseman was on the short side of the post there, and Boutet got behind him, and Lemaire came back to deflect the puck on the corner.
Oh, his mother's proud of this young fella, Pat Boutet.
I'll tell you, he did a pretty good job in Lafleur last night. That's a tough assignment.
Ryan Trout, along with Rick Chartreux, playing on the right side, Gainey on the left. The puck goes in. Ellis after it. Shot it behind the net into the corner. Maloney gets it in front. That's deflects right into Dryden.
Oh, he had the pads down. It went right off, I believe, the skate of Ronnie Ellis.
You know, when Dryden flops himself on that crease, there's not much area where he can get through.
He's the only player ever won the Conn Smythe Trophy and then won the Rookie Award the next season.
Walt McKechnie, Ron Ellis, Dan Maloney. McKechnie got the draw, Turnbull a shot, and he just missed. Bob Gainey gets it out and down the ice as Quenneville fell. Ian Turnbull back for it. A long pass to Maloney. Maloney gets it to McKechnie, and McKechnie passed it. Robinson had it taken away from him. Turnbull a shot. And Dryden had no trouble with that, but it's chopped by Robinson over the glass into the crowd. We have 9:41 remaining. With the score, Montreal 4, Toronto 2. This is Stanley Cup 79.
The Mach 2 by Arrow. A tapered shirt that fits you perfectly, because only the Mach 2 is tailored to the contours of your body, with a dart here and here. Has sleeves the length you choose. And if you wish, a patented marked collar. The only collar shaped to fit the cone of your neck. That's the Mach 2, the perfect tapered shirt. Fittingly made only by Arrow.
Getting set now, live from Maple Leaf Gardens, as the score is 4-2 in favor of Montreal. Sittler is out there now with John Anderson and Lanny McDonald, Boria Salming and Dave Burrows, and it went out and down the ice. Lafleur out there with Lambert and Lemaire. Puck by to Lafleur, but it was offside at the blue line. Ryan Engblom, there's Lafleur.
I think everything's been said about Lafleur that can be said.
Some hockey. The puck goes over for Dave Burrows. Burrows ahead for Anderson, poked by E. Lapointe, and Lemaire and Lanny McDonald bumped together. Sittler goes after the puck. Dryden clears it to Lafleur, and Lafleur sends it to Lambert, and he had it knocked off his stick, and the Leafs have control of it. Boria Salming given a shove by Lambert. Engblom went after Lanny McDonald. Burrows carries on, though, over the line to Sittler. Sittler's shot is knocked down, and the Canadiens clear it out to center ice. John Anderson over to Boria Salming. 8:55 remaining in the third period. Burrows pass. Lemaire knocked it over the line and shot out again. Here's a chance for Sittler to Lanny McDonald. His shot is knocked down and is picked up by Guy Lafleur. Guy Lafleur coming through center. And John Anderson took it away from him. Then gives it to Salming. Salming closing in. Passed it in front. Lafleur lost it to Lanny McDonald. It was checked. And back comes Montreal. Pass over on the wing. Connor couldn't control it. Shot around on the boards to Darryl Sittler. Sittler for Rocky Saganuk. Saganuk trying to go around Robinson. Saganuk trying to get it back to Williams. Williams has it and couldn't keep it in. Tiger Williams, a pass to Joel Quenneville. It's over the line, knocked out by Pierre Mondu, but it's offside. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
The GE Food Machine. It slices carrots, shreds cabbage, grates cheese, chops onions, and grinds beef in just seconds. Set to pulse action for necessary precise control. Continuous action for longer cycles. The Food Machine. It works fast, and that's good. It's easy to clean, and that's great. The time-saving, work-saving Food Machine from Canadian General Electric.
Ready for the face-off now with 8 minutes, 1 second to go in regulation time. 4-2, Montreal. Up for Risebrough. Over the line, Chartrand. He was knocked down by Turnbull. Tiger Williams, back of the net. Williams, leaving it for Turnbull. Gets it up to Gardner. Gardner, a pass for Saganuk, then went by him, and Robinson knocked it back out to center ice. Turnbull, a pass over for Williams. Williams shot it in. Savard knocks it down. There's Savard, missed the body check, trying to get away from Gardner, did a spin around, and they got it out over the blue line. Rocky Saganuk, covered by Bob Gainey. Gardner shoots the puck into the corner. Out of the net comes Dryden. Gets it over on the right side of Chartres. Tried to get it ahead for Risebrow. And Quenville shoots it right back. Stopped by Savard. And Savard shoots it down the ice. Going over the red line. Turnbull will touch it. And we have an icing.
6:58 to play. Gary, here's a cute father and son shot. Darryl Sittler and Ryan Sittler, age 5, wears 27, the Sittler name on the back, and he's a pretty good skater for a 5-year-old.
What a future Ryan has in store for him.
He's a cute kid, and Darryl's writing a book on goal scoring, and Ryan looks like he might be quite a goal scorer as he comes along in hockey.
Well, I see him here, during the Leafs practices prior to the day of a game. He's out there filling the net.
And he says Pat Boutet knocks him down, won't let him get up.
Walt McKechnie with Maloney and Lanny McDonald. The puck goes to Boria Salming. His backhand taken by Engblom. Over on the left side, the Leafs try to keep it in, they lose it. Here the Canadiens, a pass to Lafleur. Over the line, Lafleur with a shot. Harrison stopped that. McKechnie to Dan Maloney. And Maloney's shot, knocked down, gets it again. Goes to the corner, right to Walt McKechnie. Oh!
That brings them a little closer as the Leafs get their 3rd goal.
Well, for the last 6 or 7 minutes, the Leafs have been continually in the Montreal zone. They've taken the play away from them. And finally, McKechnie. They're all crowded around Dryden.
Dryden has no room at all in there. You heard McKechnie during the intermission say how happy he was to be a member of this Leaf club this year. It gave him new life in hockey, and he's been an integral part of this club. McKechnie gets his 4th playoff goal.
Maloney put it right on McKechnie's stick, and he beat Dryden to the glove side. Here we see it again. Spins around. McKechnie shoots it up right past Dryden. Within 1. Now it should get very interesting. Couldn't get that killer instinct, that goal that would put them over the hump, and they've allowed Toronto to come back and really make a game of it.
Yes, they've had their chances to get a bigger margin. Now it's 4-3 with 6:31 on the clock.
Play underway as Robinson's pass, Boria Salming, McKechnie. McKechnie for Maloney. Dryden out of the net, stops it. Handed it right to Walt McKechnie. McKechnie centered it, and the Canadiens shot the puck out to center ice. Cleared back by Hutchison, a long shot, and Dryden to Larry Robinson. Comes to the blue line, Hutchison another shot, knocked down. Nice search for Bayern, loses from the loose. Oh!
Upper corner!
Oh boy, oh boy.
What a game we've got now. 4-4 tie, 6:02 on the clock, 2 goals in a matter of seconds here for the Leafs. First McKechnie and then Maloney, upper corner.
Brian, it just goes to show you that if you put pressure on a team, even the Montreal Canadiens defense can pop up that puck.
They did on that play. I believe it was Lapointe who failed to clear it. Robinson comes over, he couldn't get it. 29 seconds apart, the Leafs scored twice.
Dan Maloney. Assist number 11, Walt McKechnie.
And number shot again, high over Dryden's shoulder. He didn't react to that one at all. Looked like he just didn't see it.
Dan Maloney from Walt McKechnie and Dave Hutchison. Time 13:58.
And we're certainly going to have a barn burner now.
Oh, the crowd is standing. Hutchison drew an assist on the goal. There's the fellow who put it up into the net. Dan Maloney. Tied at 4. Just over 6 minutes to play.
The fans have been on Maloney the last 2 games here. He certainly doesn't have the speed, to keep up with a lot of the Montreal skaters, and consequently, when you don't have that speed, you look so much slower than everybody else, and the tendency is for the fans to get on you, and he certainly has responded with first setting up McKechnie and then scoring a goal of his own.
Of course, with your speed, you never had that problem.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We have a delay now as the debris is being cleared off the ice.
Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Ride the Eagle.
The Goodyear Eagle, the Flex 10 radial tire.
Ride the Eagle.
The Goodyear Eagle with Flex 10 belts. Pound for pound, stronger than steel. For extra mileage. For superb cornering and stopping. For total confidence.
Ride the Eagle.
Dryden is at the Montreal bench. His mask is down on the ice right beside his goal crease area. So we have the young lad behind there, and at the other end, at the Leaf bench rather, Paul Harrison, number 30. A surprise starter tonight due to the surprise hospitalization and surgery on the arm of Mike Palmatier.
You know, Brian, we can go back to the breakaway by Mondeau there with a score at 4-2,
and the shot by Lemaire, right? He went in alone, and all those goal posts, 5 of them behind Harrison, at least one behind Dryden.
You just never know in this game, and you have to give the Leafs a lot of credit. You know, when you look at the two teams, there's no way that the Leafs should be this close, and they've just fought back and made a real game of it, and a great opportunity to win it.
You got lots to talk about if it goes a couple of periods of overtime tonight.
I thought we exhausted everything last night.
While we're waiting, let's take another look at this goal. Here's where they failed to clear it. That's Lapointe. Just couldn't get it out. It bounced over his stick.
Well, you know, just prior to that, Robinson had fired the puck on the boards, and the Leafs kept it in. So actually, 2 giveaways there resulted in Toronto tying the score.
Dryden didn't give him much room on that side. He only had an inch or two in which to put it in.
Six minutes, 2 seconds remaining in regulation time. We have a 4-4 tie. It was 2-0 Montreal into the first period, 4-2 Montreal into the second, and the Leafs have scored 2 unanswered goals in this third period to put themselves on even terms. So we have a 4-4 tie. All set to go. The puck is dropped. That center ice, cleared by the Canadiens into Leaf territory. Salming and Harrison got mixed up. It's back of the net. Then Salming over on the wing for Lanny McDonald. He's checked. As Gainey tried to get it. It's picked off by Boria Salming. Up for Lanny McDonald. Lemaire is there. Lemaire drives it back. It bounces out in front. And Salming gets it out to center ice. Canadiens clear it back in again. Guy Lafleur goes after it. And we have 5 minutes and 27 seconds. Now 25 as they get a whistle.
You know, Brian, Montreal has been laying back almost the whole period and allowed Toronto to tie it. Now let's see if they go on the offensive here and try to regain the play.
Well, they've got the personnel out there to do just that with Lemaire at center. Of course, Guy Lafleur on the right side. Burroughs has done a fine job on Lafleur and the other Montreal forwards tonight. One-on-one, again, being so tough to get around.
You know what he does a lot, though? Lafleur, he'll carry that puck. As soon as he hits the blue line, he'll make that little swing just inside the blue line and then try to hit that open man.
4-4 tie, 5:25 remaining in regulation time. Getting set for this face-off, a big one in Leaf territory. Lemaire lost the draw. McKechnie getting it to Turnbull. Ian Turnbull back of the net. Shot it, stopped by Gainey. Gainey tried to get it loose, but Turnbull recovers by smothering the puck.
5:16 in regulation time. Turnbull getting up slowly. On the scoreboard, third period, Rangers leading Philadelphia 4-0. Boston over Pittsburgh 2-1 there in the second. Islanders leading Chicago 1-0 also in the second. Goal by Dennis Potvin, who had 101 points in the regular season.
All set to go, McKechnie, and gets the draw again. Back of the net for Quenneville. Quenneville for Pat Boutet. Pat Boutet down the left wing. A long shot off the boards. Ron Ellis shoots. Dryden stopped that. McKechnie centers it to Pat Boutet, a shot. Oh, and Guy Lapointe just got his skate on that one.
You know, Boutet's in a great position there, but he wants to slap the puck. You know, by the time you draw that stick back and release it, it's a good 3 or 4 seconds, and that allows the block shot.
The slapper hit the leg of Guy Lapointe, and he's trying to shake off the effects of that drive.
You know, it takes a little time to unload that, but if he would just lay a little wrist shot in front of that net, there's always a chance of a rebound, and the Leafs, you know, had somebody in front of the net.
Guy Lapointe is slipping off the ice, as you can see, and his ankle's a little tender on that drive by Pat Boutette. There's Pat Boutette at the bench, and Roger Nielsen. He's really pepping them up. Lanny McDonald talking to the referee.
You know, the Canadiens can ill afford to lose any more players. They're pretty soon they'll hold their whole minor league team up. Big face-off.
Harold Sittler with Anderson and McDonald as it's cleared by Savard out to center right. Shot in by Lambert. Left there with a short draw. Lanny McDonald fell down, and I just don't know exactly what happened there.
Myers there, Bill.
Well, that was a very unfortunate thing. The referee watching the play as the Leafs again were a little sloppy in behind and in front of Harrison, and McDonald must have been looking over that way too, and with everybody concentrating on the puck, the referee, McDonald, and one of the Montreal players got all tangled up, and McDonald appears to be injured. He was shaken up last night when he tried to hit Gainey with a check and went into the boards and hit his hip against the boards, but he was able to come back from that.
Tigers there talking to Myers, telling him to stay out of the way. I think he'll be all right.
Myers was telling me a week or two ago that he sees the day coming when all the officials, for added protection, will be wearing helmets.
Might be a good idea.
4-4 tie here at the Gardens with 4:44 on the clock.
Well, Lanny McDonald is up, and he seems to be all right. Although I'm sure he'll go and take a rest.
Sort of fella every team loves to have, not only great skills, great talent on the ice, but the team leader in the dressing room loves to play the game.
Oh, we have a lot of fours on the scoreboard. It's a 4-4 tie, and we have 4 minutes and 44 seconds left.
I just said that, Bill.
What's that 3 doing up there?
Oh, we got a 3 up there, yep. Third period.
I'm sure that little scene is a little happier.
Darryl Sittler with Pat Boutette. They're still working on Lanny McDonald, so they'll send Ron Ellis over the boards.
That's Dr. Hastings, the Leaf medical staff, examining the collarbone area of Lanny McDonald.
On the face-off, Pat Boutette gets it back to Borja Salming. Salming back of the net. Shot it out on the boards to Boutette. Boutette coming at center, a long shot into the corner. Sittler went after it. Robinson just knocks it out to center right. Salming drives it over on the far wing. Then Guy Lafleur and Rondeau. Rondeau's got the puck closing in. Brent Kisbar was taken out of the play. 2 Canadians were knocked out of the play, and there's 4 Leafs coming back. Boutette back to Turnbull. Turnbull shoots, and he shot it wide. Guy Lafleur coming down the right wing. They're trying to get back. Lemaire getting in. Harrison's got it, and he holds on.
End to end the last few seconds. Turnbull's shot was wide. Lafleur led the return rush, and Harrison grabbed that puck and was able to hang on to it.
You notice Lafleur, he's on his backhand. He lays that puck up to Lemaire on his backhand. A lot of players, you know, they can't pass the puck on their backhand, so they'll switch, turn it around so they can, you know, lay that pass up to another player on their forehand. Had he done that, the play would have probably been offside.
Harrison a little steadier as time runs down. 4 minutes even left to play.
In regulation time as we get set to go. Walt McKechnie, Dan Maloney to the story of this third period. And back of the net for Dave Burrows. Burrows to Maloney. Maloney, then to Burrows, back to McKechnie, over for John Anderson. Anderson over the line, and it's offside.
figured very highly in the last 2 goals, setting one up and then adding the tying goal himself.
Goes back to Engblom. Engblom off the boards down to Quenville. Quenville's pass to McKechnie. He's stopped by Gainey, but Burroughs gets it back down, and LaPointe has it to Engblom. Off the boards and down into Leaf territory. Quenville can't get it out. Risebrough's pass nowhere near Chartrand, and Dan Maloney. A pass over for Anderson. Anderson trying to center it. Here's a chance for Quenville to shot, and that one went just wide of the net. Maloney a shot. That's deflected into the corner. It's cleared out by Gainey. Risebrough gets it back. LaPointe centered it. There's nobody there. And McKechnie has it for the Maple Leafs. A pass over to Quenville. Quenville's pass for Maloney. Goes sliding down the ice. And it's picked off by Guy Lapointe. Over to Engblom. Engblom back at center with Guy Lafleur. Lafleur shoots the puck in. Harrison to Boreas Salming. Salming gets it out over the line. 2:43 remaining in regulation time. A 4-4 tie. Serge Savard lost the puck. Taganak giving it to Williams. A shot. Stopped by Dryden. Ends up in the corner. Down went Gardner. Up the ice for Savard. He chops the puck in. Guy Lafleur and Hutchison go after it. It's Williams. Along the boards. Williams still with it. And Guy Lafleur centers it right in front of Robinson. Harrison stopped that. It goes in back to the net. Cleared over here to Williams. Williams ahead to Gardner. Gardner, and he was offside at the blue line. 1:57 remaining in regulation time.
Williams found himself in a quandary down in the corner. He coughed up the puck to Guy Lafleur, of all people, who fed Robinson, and Harrison again came up with a great stop.
That was a great save.
Maybe we'll have time to catch it here. This is that shot by Robinson. Shots in the third period. Montreal 7, Toronto 13.
There he is, Paul Harrison and John Anderson. Lanny McDonald is back out with Sittler, Anderson, Salming, and Quenville. Risebrough with Chartrand and Gainey. Puck cleared up to center ice. Flipped in by the Canadiens, and back forward, Lanny McDonald has it in the corner. Up for John Anderson. Off his stick to Rick Chartrand. Chartrand shot it in. Risebrough's going after it. Paul Harrison came out of the net, and Salming for John Anderson, and it goes all the way down to the Montreal blue line. Now it's Larry Robinson for Serge Savard. He's covered. Anderson puck. Trying to get it in front of the net. He did. And that was stopped by Dryden. Comes out to center ice. Lanny McDonald getting it back to Quenville. To Boreas Salming. Salming up for Anderson. Anderson goes down. Salming has the puck. Over to Sittler. Sittler stops. Robinson had him covered. Bob Gainey. A pass over to Risebrough. We have less than a minute to go in regulation time. Lanny McDonald. A pass for Sittler to Pat Boutette. Over the line, it's knocked out again. Here comes Lafleur and Mondeau. Here's Lafleur's shot. And that knocked Harrison down. Right, he kept it out. Now it's out for Sittler. Sittler's pass for Ellis. Into the corner. Sittler has it back of the net. To Ellis. Ellis back to Sittler. Sittler tried to get it to Hutchison. He did. Hutchison's backhand ends up behind the net into the corner. Pat Boutette. Then to Sittler. Right in front of the net. Right for Sittler again, and he goes down. And the Canadiens come back with 12 seconds. Rayler. A pass over the line to Larry Robinson. Robinson trying to cut in front. There's the shot. Oh! Paul Harrison.
With 2 seconds to play. What a save. A brilliant save by Harrison.
And look at Robinson's down on the ice, too.
Robinson nursing his face. He may have been clipped on that play. A great play by Robinson, a greater play by Harrison, and the Leaf players know it. He's still getting a standing ovation for Paul Harrison. Probably the best save he ever made in his life.
That's incredible with only 2 seconds left to play.
Watch again. Robinson from the corner. Here he comes. And here comes the shot. Watch the glove. In the glove. Tremendous.
You know, Harrison was out of position there on the Robinson play. And still caught up with it. Here's a blast by Lafleur. You think he can't shoot the puck?
Oh. Looking on, Napier and Dougie Jarvis. Jarvis from Brantford, Ontario. I said, you made the town famous, and he said, yes, and Wayne Gretzky's making it even more famous.
Face off with 2 seconds remaining in regulation time. We have a 4-4 tie.
Guess what's going to happen again tonight? Yeah. A lot of folks be late for work tomorrow.
Of course, we get the hour cushion starting at 7.
That helps.
However, I'd like to be here all night. They keep playing like this. Now we're ready to go. The face-off. Jones wins the draw. The bell goes, and we're into overtime.
Well, again, I wondered why Scotty Bowman didn't pull Ken Dryden with only 2 seconds on the clock. But what a finish. What a great third period for the Leafs here as they scored 2 more goals. 4 straight for the Leafs to get the 4-4 tie. And now, once again, we have the excitement of overtime coming up. Let's go downstairs now to Dave Hodge.
Well, here we go again, Howie. Another overtime period. Who'd have thought it? But we have to compliment both teams, I think. First and foremost, the Leafs certainly down 3-0 in the series, down 4-0 in this game midway through to come back and force another overtime period. But let's not lose sight of the fact that the Canadiens have played a pretty strong game, certainly the first half of the game, with an injury-depleted lineup. And we haven't seen a whole lot of the LaRouches and the Connors. It's been Lafleur, Lemaire. They've been seeing a lot of ice time, and the 3 defensemen are used to that, Savard, Robinson, and Lapointe, but I don't know about 2 nights in a row. It's just a great testimony to the 2 teams to see a game like this one after what we saw last night, but especially to see the Leafs come back. And how about that Lemaire breakaway early in the third period? I thought the Canadiens would come out, try to get the 5-2 lead, and they had the chance with Lemaire. A great save by Harrison.
Well, Harrison's the story, but first of all, Toronto Maple Leaf tradition. I'm just amazed. They were down last night, and I think most of the fans in the house counted them out. And 4-0 tonight with Robinson carrying the mail and Lafleur going every time he had it, and Savard. Bob Goldham and I were talking before the game tonight that he noticed on television, and we noticed here, that late in the game it was the Toronto Maple Leafs that had all the foot, and the people who were really lagging, the people who were slow physically reacting, but particularly slow mentally reacting to situations, were the big defensemen, Lapointe, Savard, and Robinson. Robinson carried the mail again. I would think 25 times he went end-to-end with the puck in the first 30 minutes of the game, and Lapointe is doing the same thing. I just think they're tired, and the Leafs are coming on. They're getting unbelievable goaltending from that Harrison, and we got another barn burner.
Well, you know, you talk about when the Leafs have put some pressure on in both games, really, last night and tonight, they've had their best success, and it showed in the third period when they got the goal from McKechnie and then followed it up less than a minute later with the tying goal by Maloney. We'd like to look at that goal by Dan Maloney. Good play by him, a good shot, really, to beat Dryden. Starts with Hutchison.
Hutchison gets the puck in, and Maloney does the big reach here. No, it's McKechnie. McKechnie right there creates the loose puck, and once again, you had to beat Dryden high and upstairs. He's very slow to react, a heck of a shot. Boutette's right there looking for the rebound, but that's the one that sent the game into overtime.
Well, you're so right that McKechnie kept the play alive. The Canadiens have the chance to clear it here, but the puck is bouncing on Savard, and McKechnie does get it right to Maloney.
Wasn't much room. Quite a shot.
And Boutette was there as well. So the Leafs swarming that Montreal net have had some success. There's no doubt about it. You're talking about Montreal perhaps looking more tired than the Leafs did toward the end of last night's game. And if that was the case last night, it's got to be the case tonight with 2 more regulars shutting Napier out of the lineup. they got bodies to fill the uniforms, but the more regulars the Canadians are missing, the less likely Bowman is to start using some of those extra people, because he's just going down his roster.
Well, I think you have to go back again. The super legs, the guys that can really boogie on the Montreal Canadiens are their big defensemen. Lapointe, also Savard goes with it pretty good, but Lafleur is super. But late in the game, Nielsen started using Saginaw and Anderson, and they're fresh young legs, and they get into the corners early. They cause the Montreal Canadiens to cough up the puck, and every time they come on the ice, there was some action.
Okay, Brian McFarland is standing by in our overtime intermission with a familiar face and voice, a good friend of all hockey fans across the country, Monsieur René Lecavalier.
Well, it's a real pleasure to be with René again, the French voice of Hockey Night in Canada, and I think it's a treat for English-speaking Canada to see you tonight, René, and of course we've got another great finish to a great playoff game.
Thank you, Brian. It's been a long time. Well, I think that the Canadians are making it very difficult for themselves, as you know, because they, with a 4-0 lead, they let them get away. And you see, their real hope tonight was to get through with this series and give their hurt people their 5 or 6 days, if possible. Although I'd heard that the semifinals could begin on Thursday next. But now, everything is up in the air, and I think this is terrific for hockey.
Oh, it certainly is, Rennie, and you watch the Canadians all the time. Can you, this is a tough question, I know, can you recall when they've blown a 4-goal lead and let the team come back like they did tonight?
I've never seen them blow a 4-goal lead since I've been with them, and that's quite a while. Not 4 goals, no. I've seen teams come back from a deficit of 3, but I don't know exactly when or... But this is something. I mean, you see, Robinson tried to make a pass at center ice, one of those daring to somebody who was skating. I think it was Mondu at the center of the ice. It was cut. It was intercepted at the blue line, as you know. The shot was blocked, and Saginaw managed to push it under the... And that was it.
Did you...
The beginning was... all of a sudden, you could feel it with the penalty immediately afterwards.
Right.
This is hockey.
Rennie, did you agree with the Canadians' approach to that game in the third period? They were playing very cautiously. They were playing quite expertly, but not quite strongly enough to keep the Leafs off.
It's a repetition of last night. I think their main asset is their strength. They've scored 70 goals more than the Leafs. And I think that by playing the way they did last night, they were depriving themselves of their main asset. And you could see all through the period with a 1-goal advantage. There was only one man going into the other zone at a time. The other two were more or less staying at the blue line or even at center ice. In other words, they were hurting their own chances of making it a larger advantage.
I'm sure there'll be a full discussion of that during the intermission, and they'll come out flying for the overtime play. Rennie, nice being with you again. Come back and see us again soon. Rennie Lecavalier, and we'll be back with more Stanley Cup playoff action in just a moment.
What's it take to brew a great light beer? Had one yet?
You said you'd teach me the TV repair business. That's what you said. In 2 years, I've worked on every color set, but never Hitachi. Never.
One more try, kid. Okay, we'll ask right here. TV repair, ma'am. We've come to check your set. No charge.
Oh, no. We've got a Hitachi. Who needs service?
Kid, promise me, if you ever get inside a Hitachi, come back and tell me all about it.
Of all the tools you use in business, nothing gets information across faster than long distance. Long distance gives you an interchange of ideas and gets things flowing back and forth. Long distance gives you control, gives you a feel for the situation, and lets you react immediately. Every day, businessmen make over 1 million long-distance calls because long distance means business.
Well, this is a repeat situation for Steve Shutt of the Montreal Canadiens as well, who started playing last night's game and then finished it, watching the overtime with great anxiety, I'm sure, and now it's happening again, Steve. I'm sure that it wasn't in your mind when the Canadiens were ahead 4-0 that you'd still be here and your teammates would still be in uniform.
Well, it's rather surprising, but you know, we always, whenever we get into trouble, I think it's when we do have a big lead and we try and sit back on it, and we can't play that way because we don't really have that many defensive players. You know, we have offensive players, and we have to keep going, you know, for the fourth goal and then go for the fifth one, and we stopped doing that, and that's what happened.
Of course, there might be a reason for a relaxation, if we can call it that, whether it be conscious or not. Players such as yourself are injured, and you know, these guys have to be tired after a while, and if you got a 4-goal lead, maybe you just can't drive yourself as much as you'd like to get that fifth.
Well, you know, that's one of the big keys of our team. That's what we thrive on doing that. We have to do that, and it doesn't matter who's really in the lineup. Whoever else comes in is also a pretty good hockey player too, and he should be able to fill in there and do a good job.
You've convinced me. I won't start
PR.
No more excuses for the Canadiens. Well, let's talk about all the injuries and yours specifically. It's a Charlie horse. You limped in here rather badly, but you tell me this may be the last game you missed.
Well, it's I was in the corner. I think it was the middle of the overtime period, and Sittler came up behind me and hit me, and I didn't really see him coming, so I wasn't prepared for it. And I did get a Charlie horse, and with a Charlie horse, it's nothing really serious, but it just, you know, tightens up your leg for a couple days, and that makes it pretty tough to skate or to walk.
And when I asked you whether you would be able to play on Tuesday, you gave me a party line look like, what makes you think there's going to be a game on Tuesday?
We'll have to see how this one goes first.
How about the other players? If we could talk about Jarvis, Gould, Tremblay, and Napier, who would be the most seriously injured of that quartet?
I think probably Houle. You know, he's had pulled stomach muscles, and he's been out about 3 weeks with that before, and then he played one game, and it happened again. And so he's very indefinite. Nobody knows when he's going to come back. But as far as Tremblay and Jarvis, you know, Jarvis was going to play tonight, and Mario could be any day also.
Steve, I heard an interesting quote of yours after the second game of the series. You looked back on the time between the end of the regular season and the first playoff game and said that you were a little scared on behalf of the team, that the loss of first place and the fact that, you know, you're playing an arch rival, Toronto, until the series got underway, you had a very uneasy feeling. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, I think it's, you know, the week of waiting, and it's very, it's tough. You know, you can really practice all you want, but, you know, you're not as sharp as you are when you're playing. And we knew we were going to play Toronto, and we knew how that they come up and they play really well in the playoffs. And it just, you know, you always have an uneasy feeling going in against a team that's been playing for the last week, and you've had a week-long layoff, and you just don't know how it can affect either team.
As you look back on your own season, not too many players in this league are going to be disappointed with a 37-goal season, but of course you've done better, a whole lot better in other seasons. Would disappointment be an accurate word, or when you did start to score later in the season, did that remove any of those feelings you might have had?
Well, I started off, I didn't really, went off to one of my patented slow starts, and I just started going, and then I cracked my wrist, and so I was out for 8 games, and I played 2 games with a cast, and that was a mistake. And there was a couple other games that I only lasted about 1 shift and I got hurt. So I think I missed 12 or 13 games altogether. So it's, you know, it's not too bad considering I've missed that many games.
Well, whether it be Tuesday or Thursday or Saturday or Sunday or whatever, we hope to see you back in the Canadiens lineup as soon as possible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to Steve Shutt for spending some intermission time with us. Stanley Cup 79 will continue in just a moment.
This is Varipel. With the exclusive Envirosol system, the exterior wood preservative that's so effective, you can think of it as wood insurance.
Here's proof. We soak 2 pieces of wood in water for 24 hours. Then we bake them at 225 degrees for 1 hour. After all this, the wood treated with Verapel is still protected. That's wood insurance. That's the Envirosol system. Here's how it works. The Envirosol system opens up the cell walls of the wood fiber, allowing Verapel to penetrate deep into the wood. When it dries, the Verapel is embedded deep in the cell walls. This stabilizes the wood, preventing it from expanding or contracting, so it resists peeling, cracking, or blistering. And Verapel contains a fungicide to protect against mildew and dry rot. Protect your investment. Get Verapel and get yourself some wood insurance.
Flecto, when you want to do it right.
Come fly with me, let's fly away.
I love to take to the open air in my 79 Thunderbird. It's one magnificent flying machine. Luxurious cockpit with V8 power, power steering, power brakes, automatic transmission, all standard. And if you choose the T-roof, you can have all this and heaven too. 79 Thunderbird, what a way to fly. It's on the runway at your Ford dealer.
With all the excitement here at the Gardens, we may have neglected 3 other series which are underway tonight. And of course, there are 2 that are in the same situation here. But first, the Rangers 5 and the Flyers nothing. It looks as though the Rangers are going to take a 3-1 lead, but after what has happened in Toronto, you never know. Now, Boston has a chance to clinch, as the Canadiens do tonight. They lead 2-1 in the 3rd period. And the Islanders have a chance to wrap it up, and they're ahead of Chicago by a score of 2-1. That's in the 2nd period at Chicago Stadium. Well, Brian McFarland and Gary Dornhofer are used to this. We went through it twice last night, so some comments prior to the first overtime period from upstairs, please.
Well, here we go again, Gary. And if you believe that old saw about lightning striking twice, the Leafs had better watch out for Cam Connor.
Well, I'll tell you, though, there has to be a lot of enthusiasm in that Toronto Maple Leaf dressing room. 4-0, they came back to tie it. The excitement in the dressing room has to be just overwhelming. I've gone through that. I know the feeling. The thing that they have to be very aware of is that they don't start running around, the start of this overtime period, figuring they have to get a goal right away and get out of position, because Montreal will certainly capitalize on a situation like that.
Montreal's bound to be fired up, too. They realize they didn't play their best in that 3rd period, and they want to prove something here.
Well, as we mentioned before, Brian, very uncharacteristic of Montreal to blow a 4-goal lead, and I'm sure that Scotty Bowman had a few nice words to say about them, and you'll probably see Montreal go right to the attack, and we can expect something like we did last night.
I'm keeping my eye on them, and it looks like they're just about ready to play, so let's go back now to Bill Hewitt and overtime.
Okay, Brian, and we look at Scotty Bowman back of the Montreal bench as he prepares. Now we'll have a look at the summary of the 3rd period, which was all Maple Leafs. McKechnie at 13:29, Maloney at 13:58. Shots on goal, Toronto 14-10, and we're in overtime. As the Leafs clear the puck down the ice, it bounces to Dryden, and he holds it with Lanny McDonald right down there on his doorstep. Face-off will be in the Montreal zone to the left. As we have Pat Boutet, Darryl Sittler, Lanny McDonald, Selming, and Dave Burrow. All set to go. Jacques Lemaire out there with Guy Lafleur and Bob Gainey. There's Savard and Larry Robinson. Around to Lafleur, hopped by Burroughs out to center ice, and is picked up there by Boutet. Getting it back over to Borja Selming. Selming is chased back. Selming waiting behind the net, not wanting to take any chances. Fleur up there looking for a loose puck, and it deflects into the crowd, and we'll have a face-off.
Brian, I just think that this game is going to end in the first 5 minutes. I just have that feeling that it's not going to go like it did last night.
Just looking over the Leaf record in overtime since 1967, when they won a thriller in 3 extra periods, I believe it was. They've been involved in 12 overtime games, won only 3.
It's Borja Selming giving it to Dave Burrow. Up it goes for Pat Boutet. Lemaire stopped it to Savard. Savard to Larry Robinson. Up for Lafleur. He shot the puck into the corner. Selming drives it around the boards again. This time it's Pat Boutet with Darryl Sittler. Coming down with Lanny McDonald. Sittler shoots. And that's gloved by Dryden and knocked into the corner. Lafleur shot it down the ice, and that's going over the red line, and that'll be icing.
One thing about Dryden, you know, he has a habit of, in that sudden death overtime, really coming up with his best saves, as we had noted last night.
He looked very good on that last drive. He played it in the classic style, getting in front of the puck and then getting the gloves, the stick, everything in front of it. Roger Nielsen and his counterpart, Scotty Bowman. He's been here many times before.
All set to go now, McKechnie, Maloney, and Ellis. The puck taken by Guy Lapointe, shot it around on the boards, and it's out at center ice. Quenville lost the puck. Pierre Mondu tried to get to it. Lambert got it behind the net, cleared around on the boards. It comes out in front. Mondu a shot, and that just missed. Lambert's got it again for Montreal, trying to center it. Walt McKechnie going with Turnbull to Maloney, and that is slapped right back. The Leafs trying to get out of their own end. Canadians forechecking. A long pass for McKechnie is going down the ice, right on the net. And Dryden gives it to Enzo. Enzo along up to Pierre Mondu. Mondu's pass on the right side. Closing in is Pierre Leroux. Goes to the blue line. Guy Lapointe trying to keep it in, and it rolls out. Maloney and Lapointe there outside the blue line.
The important thing for Lapointe on that play was to not let that puck slip behind him, because there were two Leafs in the vicinity waiting for a chance to pounce on it.
Not only that, it was a good play by Maloney to stay right with him, you know, and not skate by him. Had Lapointe been able to control it, you know, two players were already gone.
Brings out Paul Gardner along with Williams and Saginac, Risebrough, Connor, and Pat Hughes. The puck goes over to Burroughs, who clears the puck to center ice. There's Savard back at his own blue line. Gardner trying to check him. Savard still has it. Then Gardner goes after him again, and Robinson has to take it. Robinson up at center. Hits the shot right on, and juggled and held on to by Paul Hart.
You know, Harrison really isn't the type of goalie that challenges the shooters like Palmatier, but he's a stand-up goalie, and although on that play he was about a good 10 feet outside his crease area.
.36 seconds on the ice tonight for Salmi.
How did that compare with last night? Do you remember what his final total was for last night?
In all the excitement of that overtime, I didn't get a total, but it was pretty close to that. 34 minutes and 42 seconds, John Shannon tells me, last night.
Boria Salmi back of the net. On the wing to Williams. Williams straight down the left wing. Knocked down by Chartrois. And it's Risebrough being covered by Gardner. Gardner has the puck. He and Rocky Saginac go to center. Gardner's taken out of the play. Robinson feeds the pass for Risebrough to Larry Robinson. Robinson is hit hard by Williams. It comes out over the line, and there's going to be a penalty, I believe, to Williams. Williams took Robinson into the boards.
I'll tell you, that's a gutsy call by Bob Myers to, you know, anytime you're in sudden death overtime, very rarely do they call a penalty.
Dave Williams, 2 minutes for high sticking. Time 2:38. Dave Williams,
2:38. Into the overtime. Williams is called for high sticking. The crowd doesn't like it. As you said, a gutsy call by Myers. Tradition has it that there are very, very few penalties called unless they're blatant in a situation like this.
Well, the Leafs certainly are going to have their work cut out for them now with this potent Montreal power play. And I think the Canadiens realize what an opportunity to end it all right here.
That is in the fire for the Toronto Maple Leafs now. They're playing shorthanded. And let's see, it's Robinson, Lemire, Lambert.
You know, it looks like they're going to put Robinson up on the forward line here, Bill. And
yeah,
you know where he's going to go.
He's going where you went, right in front of that net. Now the Leafs in trouble here in overtime. Sudden death. One goal ends it. Lemire to Robinson. He's right in front of the net, and he was knocked down before he could get a shot. Jerry Butler in the corner. Lost it to Lambert. Here's to Lapointe, the shot. That's knocked down. Lapointe's got it again. Lapointe having trouble. Gets it to Lemire. Lemire back to Lapointe. Back to Lemire. Lemire closes in, shoots. Harrison stopped that. And it ends up in the corner. Comes over here to Lafleur. Here comes his shot. That's knocked down. And it's driven down the ice. Lafleur has to go back for it. Leafs short-handed. 1 minute and 19 seconds left in the penalty. Up the ice for Guy Lapointe to Larry Robinson. Drives the puck in. Off the board. Boreas Solomon can't get it out. Guy Lafleur shot it into the corner. Turnbull then drives one off the glass and down the ice. Dryden gets it over to Lafleur. 56 seconds remaining in the penalty to Williams. Back of the net, Lapointe. Lapointe up to Robinson. Up at center ice. A pass to Lemire. He's checked. And it's shot back out again, and there's 42 seconds left in the penalty. Back for Pat Hughes of Montreal. Hughes getting it up at center ice. Lapointe over the line. Lapointe stops. Trying to set it up to Robinson. Robinson waits. Canadians getting set. Here comes the shot. Score!
It's over.
Larry Robinson. A clean shot.
The Leafs season is over. The Canadians win it at 4:14 of overtime with Williams in the penalty box. The Leafs are furious with the official, and they're holding a couple of players back now for that call against Williams. The Canadians, meanwhile, are congratulating their big man, Larry Robinson, who drilled one from just inside the blue line. A power play goal at 4:14, and for the second night in a row, the Leafs have seen their efforts come to no avail as the Canadians sweep the series in 4 straight, and Tiger Williams is still in a fury and trying to get at the official. Bob Myers. Maloney has pulled Williams to the ice. Robinson is over there with him.
I see Robinson's trying to quiet him down.
4:14, the goal by Robinson from Lapointe. And Pat Hughes at 4:14.
Well, Brian, let's give the Leafs a lot of credit. You know, they certainly weren't favored to win this series, but they gave it a gutsy try. Every single Leaf they put out, and they worked as hard as they could. But look at the Montreal lineup, a lot of firepower, and they had about 4 regulars not in the lineup, and they just keep coming up with these great players. But it certainly was 2 great hockey games that we witnessed here.
Well, you do give the Leafs a lot of credit for digging deep and coming back in this game tonight after trailing by 4, and it appeared to be that they were all through for the season, but they fought back gamely. Then it took a clutch goal in overtime by Larry Robinson to finish their season. Robinson, a tremendous sportsman, a tremendous hockey player. There with Darryl Sittler, that's quite a picture. A great deal of respect showing there on the faces.
Brian, the teams, they bumped and they grinded out for 4 games, and everybody was hitting, and then they can shake hands at the end and congratulate each other. That's really great to see. But it was a hard-fought series.
And so the final score was Montreal 5 and Toronto 4.
There's only one.
Hey, where are you going?
We're going to get some beer.
Well, we've got some in the fridge.
But your dad's coming. I want to get some Brador. There's only one.
Hey, Brador, what's the occasion?
Have a seat. Occasion? Gary brought back my snowblower.
There's only one.
Hey, Craig, I got those playoff tickets. That calls for a Brador.
There's only one Brador.
Mercury Marquis, scientifically designed, totally new in the tailored dimensions of today. Yet in its new size, Marquis has more hip room for even greater 6-passenger comfort, offers more trunk space than last year, and has improved fuel economy and handling characteristics. Mercury Marquis, ride and spacious elegance. You like its new dimensions at the sign of the cat.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are tonight's Molson 3 stars as selected by Hockey Night in Canada. The first star, Larry Robinson. The second star, Walt McKechnie. And the third star, Jacques Lemaire.
Well, Howie, another exciting ending as always in overtime, and a somewhat controversial one with the Leafs playing shorthanded when the winning goal was scored by Larry Robinson. I have a thought concerning penalties and refereeing in overtime, and I'll let you agree or disagree, and we'd like to perhaps look at the call. But I think this idea that referees can't call penalties in overtime is totally wrong. It's still a hockey game, and there are still rules to a hockey game. The question is it a good penalty? So let's have a look.
Well, I don't know. He reached Big Larry pretty good, but I don't know how in the world Tiger Williams can high-stick Larry Robinson unless he's on a step ladder.
Well,
right, Larry?
That's right. After seeing that, it was high-sticking, wasn't it?
Yeah. Larry ducked into it, but...
and does it matter whether it's overtime or not?
No, not really. No, hey, I agree with you, but that's theory. In actual practice, a lot of times they let that type of thing go.
I'm suggesting that it's not correct just because it's overtime not to call anything.
Well, I agree with you if they do it consistently. I agree with you 100%.
Well, he only called the one penalty. That was consistent. Unfortunately for the Leafs, it cost them the game and it cost them the series, but as I say, there are still rules, and a competitor such as Williams is going to react adversely. There's no doubt about it. Howie, thank you very much. Here's the first star of the game, the winning goal scorer, Larry Robinson, the recipient of the high stick that we just watched. And Larry, first of all, tell us, if you will, what you had to say to Tiger Williams, because that was a
After
scene
it was over?
Yeah.
Well, I just told him, like, it's not worth it, you know. I'm sure he felt very bad about it, and I'm sure he felt it wasn't a penalty. I couldn't really tell because, as you saw, I had my back to the play, and all I know is that he took me into the boards. I didn't really feel a high stick or anything, but I looked at it. His stick is up. It's a call. It's a judgment call, and I don't think it's something that Tiger, should have to get something foolish and live with it over the summer. That's something he might regret later. So, it's you have to, cool heads have to prevail, and I'm sure he felt bad about it, but it's not. He shouldn't take it to the point where he might get fined or something awful might happen to him. He's a better guy than that.
Okay, let's look at the goal. Tiger feels bad. Larry Robinson certainly feels happy. The winning goal, and you take it from here.
Well, Guy gave it back to me, and we've been trying to play it where waiting to try to get over to the middle, and there was a good screen. I don't know, it might have went off somebody, but I just tried to direct it towards the net.
Well, we're going to see it from another angle, just in case there was traffic to see.
Here, Guy's got it, and he's waiting for Jones to commit himself across. And I was going to pass it. Now Jones will go back, and I'm going to try to work over into the middle where you've got a better angle to shoot at. And here, he hasn't got much of a chance. You can't see it.
Well, we will see even better just what Harrison was faced with as we look directly in front of the net.
Yeah, I think Pierre Mondeau was in front as well as Jacques Lemaire. There, see, Turnbull's pushing him in front.
Right into Harrison's line of vision.
And he played a terrific game. He has nothing to be ashamed of. I think the whole Leaf club have nothing to be ashamed of. They give it their all, and it goes to show you. They were down 4-0. They could have just as easily thrown in the towel, but we tried to sit back, which is very unfortunate, and we almost paid for it, but we were fortunate enough to get the goal.
What does Scotty Bowman do when he senses that this is happening with a 4-goal lead, 4-1, and then it was 4-2 pretty quickly? Or shall I put it another way? What was he saying in the second intermission to try to prevent what did happen?
Well, he couldn't really say that much actually, because they, granted they got 2 goals, but one was on a power play, and we still had a two-goal advantage. So basically, he just told us to get out there and carry the play more to them, because the other night the same thing happened to us. We got the lead, and then we sort of sat back on it, and we let the club come to us. And I don't care what club it is, if you let them take the play to you, especially with guys like Sittler and Salming, you're asking for a lot of trouble, and we got the trouble.
We've been talking earlier in the telecast about the importance that you put on winning this series in 4 games based on the injuries that you've had. Now, you get a bit of a rest, and the next series doesn't start at least until Thursday, we gather, and that had to be in your mind.
Oh, definitely. Even the game last night was very big for us, because we lost 2 very good players for us in Schutt and Napier, who've been having had a great series, and it's like anything else. Like the whole season actually has been going. We just seem to get everybody healthy, and then we get a few fluke injuries, and boy, it's tough enough as it is. But then when you don't go with your full club, you're even you're playing a lot tougher. But I was really glad that like Pat Hughes and Cam Connor come up big for us when they were called upon, and that's what teamwork's all about.
Larry, congratulations on the winning goal and on a great series for you and the rest of your teammates.
Thanks, Dave.
Larry Robinson leads the Canadiens into the Stanley Cup semifinals with a winning goal in game number 4 of this quarterfinal series. With me now is the winning coach, Scotty Bowman, and let's pick up where Larry left off concerning the depth that you have on this team. It's really what the Canadiens are all about. If somebody's out, you have to have somebody to put in there to do the job. Cam Connor did it last night. I thought you got great work from Pat Hughes tonight, just to cite one example.
Yes, we did, Dave, but I guess as a coach, I was putting all my eggs in one basket tonight, because I don't think we didn't have a lot left, and towards the end of the third period, I felt, well, we're one shot away from winning, and we just have to go with our best. And although in the overtime we did get Pat Hughes out there, and I don't know, I'm always pretty tough on young hockey players. I guess it's if you win, if you lose, you want to lose with your best. But I think in the final run, like you got to look to fellas like Robinson and Gainey. They come up big, and I think on the other side, Toronto. A lot of people know the record we've had against them, but there's been a lot of ties in there, and the puck bounced again tonight on the first goal, but I've never seen a save like Harrison made to keep a team in a series with 2 seconds to go. I asked Lemaire up and down what he didn't do, and he just couldn't believe the save he made. So we have to know that the Leafs' top men, I think, perform well, and I don't think they have anything to be ashamed of, because our team has played its best hockey this year in the last 4 games.
Roger Nielsen was thinking as this series went on with each loss about this streak that he has never beaten the Montreal Canadiens, and I wonder how much of a disadvantage that might have been psychologically to them, or conversely, whether you felt it propelled you somewhat.
Well, I had the same thing happen to me, Dave. I was with St. Louis, and of course I really dearly wanted to beat Montreal, and I think we went up to well over 20. And the biggest problem is trying to defend yourself, because I felt when I was with the Blues in St. Louis, we played some of our best games against Montreal. We lost about 2 or 3 games in overtime, and we had 3 or 4 other ties, but we had never beaten them, and that stigma stayed. And one day we played in Toronto, and we won, and we took the train down to Montreal, and Al Arbor was our captain, and my wife, we just were married, and we were on the train going to Montreal, and I've never seen a team cut up as much. They did about $500 worth of damage. A lot of fun with the pillows and feathers all over the train. We went into Montreal, we won 5-0, and it was pretty tough after that. But it's something that bothers you, because the Leafs did play some good hockey against us in those games.
Well, they played an outstanding game these last 2 games, certainly, and that's pretty tough to take, to play that well and not be able to win. Scotty, stay with us. We just have a bit of time, but I know that this reminds me of last year when we had the winning and losing coaches with us after a semifinal series. Roger, you've had a reason to be very proud of this team earlier in the season, and I speak of a victory over Philadelphia that you remember very well, but this has to rank right beside it.
I think we showed a lot of character in coming back from down 4 goals. Have you blown a 4-goal lead lately, Scotty?
Well, I mean, I guess we've never blown a 4-goal lead and lost the game, but we didn't have a good feeling. There's no question about it. When they were coming back, you could see that they were determined.
You took it very much in stride. I'm talking about the ordeal earlier in the season, and I wouldn't expect you to react any differently now, but the question must be asked, do you at this moment ponder your future with this team?
Well, certainly. I don't know whether they want me back, and I have to consider too whether we really want to come back. So, but I haven't given any thought to that at all now. We were naturally, no one cares about that right now. We were just concerned about the series, and we were really happy that the team could come back that way. We felt that the longer the game went, the better chance we had. We felt that Canadiens were tiring, and so the penalty was an unfortunate call. But Canadiens are a great team, and you know, they can bring on their reserves, and they fit right in, and they play a really disciplined and, let's face it, a well-coached style of hockey, and it's no disgrace losing to them.
What factors would you consider when you contemplate your own wishes about returning? I'm sure everybody has looked at it the other way. Do the Leafs want Roger Nielsen back? When you sit down and think about whether you want to return based on what has happened, what do you think about it?
Dave, I hadn't had time to think about it at all, and some other time perhaps we could talk about it, but now isn't the time.
I'm sure it is. Roger Nielsen and Scotty Bowman, 2 great coaches. We've seen their teams play great hockey the last 2 nights, and we hope you've enjoyed it. We're sure you have. The Canadiens move on to the Stanley Cup semifinals, and in all likelihood it'll be against the Boston Bruins. The Toronto Maple Leafs look to another season as they slipped in the overall standings this year, won a series, an upset in the first round against the Atlanta Flames, and played 2 great games here tonight and last night against the Montreal Canadiens. So the quarterfinals game number 5 is the next telecast for Hockey Night in Canada from Philadelphia. The Rangers and the Flyers on Tuesday night. Join us for that one. The Canadiens 5 and the Leafs 4. Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Ford Motor Company on behalf of your Ford and Mercury dealers from coast to coast. The Bank of Nova Scotia with nearly 1,000 branches across Canada to serve you. Canadian General Electric, progress for people since 1882. And by Molson, Canada's name in beer since 1786. Brewers of Molson Canadian Lager Beer.
This is CBC.
Look at your rug. Need cleaning? Then